for blocked shots. The Buckeyes are peaking at the right time. They've won 5 of their last 7 games, and a great game tonight will help them off the bubble. Senior center Ken Johnson needs 3 more blocks to become the Big Ten's all-time career shot blocker. These are the kind of explosions you like to see. Illinois, Ohio State next. Coming up next on ESPN, it's a Thursday night doubleheader as Ken Johnson and the Ohio State Buckeyes try to erase their bubble status when they host the 4th-ranked Fighting Illini. And then at 9, catch a Conference USA battle between DePaul and Marquette. Now, let's go live to Columbus, Ohio for tonight's first game.
The Schottenstein Center sold out 19,200 to watch Ohio State play host to number 4 Illinois. It is senior night at Ohio State and a very special night for a very special player, Ken Johnson.
His grandmother, Doris Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, senior center from Detroit, Ken Johnson.
Two blocks to tie Booth, 3 for the all-time Big Ten record. We'll tip it off next.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, the 2001 Galant. Wake up and drive.
We welcome you inside the sold-out Schottenstein Center. The Big Ten led by Illinois by 1 game over Michigan State. Ohio State right there at 3rd and a tie at 8-5 with the Wisconsin Badgers. And a 5-game winning streak coming in for the Illini as they try to keep that going and hang on to first place. Welcome to Columbus, Dave Barnett and Bill Raftery. It's Ken Johnson's night already. It's really his night if he gets the 3 blocks for the all-time career record. But how does he help make it the Buckeyes' night?
I think what Jimmy O'Brien's going to do is change the look, the complexion of the defense, mix it up a little bit. Hopefully the big fella will stay at the foul problems, play off the ball, and ignite some fast break opportunities. I think the key for Ohio State, some easy baskets. This is a talent-laden, deep Illinois team. I mean, you play half court against them, they're going to punish you.
Bill Self's first year has gone even better than he could have imagined. 21 wins and counting. He's got them ranked 4th, the highest they have been since the end of the 88-89 season when they went on to a top seed in the NCAA's and a Final 4 berth. And the usual 5, Frank Williams, the deadly second-half shooter. Corey Bradford looking to get back on track. He had his 88-game streak with a 3-pointer end 2 games ago against Wisconsin, shutout, scoreless against Indiana. McLean, Cook, and Griffin are up front. Jim O'Brien, 2 years ago, had Ohio State in the Final 4, the National Co-Coach of the Year in '99, in his 4th season with the Buckeyes, 75 wins. And his usual 5, Connolly, Savovich, and Brown, the 3 guards, Zach Williams, and Ken Johnson, currently 2nd in the nation. 6th all-time in NCAA history. And 2 to tie Calvin Booth, 3 for the all-time conference record. They met way back in early January in Champaign. Illinois won it by 15, holding Ohio State to just 35%. It was one of a string of second-half performances where Frank Williams took over.
He loved that second half. The big thing, according to Joe O'Brien, was their ability to make threes. And his dilemma, as he approached this game, take away the 3, they beat you inside. So it's got to be a little bit of a mix, a little bit of a change-up.
Jim O'Brien earlier talked to us about the 4-year development and progress for Ken Johnson.
I think that if you would have said to him 3 or 4 years ago, you know, by the time you're ready to graduate, A, you're going to have the most blocks in Ohio State history. B, you probably are going to have the most blocks in Big Ten history. And you could conceivably put yourself in a position to be a first-round draft pick. I would have been shocked if somebody would have said that to me 3 years ago.
Bill, that's what's nice about his story. It's so totally unexpected.
Well, a late bloomer, and a lot of big guys take a while. You think of it, probably the best shot-blocking piano player / artist in the entire world. Calvin Booth, a guy who's down in Washington now, a terrific shot blocker. And take a look at some of the personnel, including Cook and Griffith up front. This is a talent-laden Illinois team.
Buckeyes have won 4 of 5, 5 of 7. They've been hot themselves. They've won 4 straight in conference. Their most recent game was a loss at Alabama. They're back into the Big Ten wars tonight. Ed Valentine, Jim Burr, and Tim Higgins will officiate. Johnson himself controlling the pass.
And the Illini go, wait a minute, Dave Barnett.
Ryan Brown picked up by Frank Williams. Slavovich guarded by McLean, and now Griffin opting out to double team Zach Williams, the freshman from New York City.
They used the floor nicely early.
Slavovich maybe partially blocked. Ken Johnson there for the Buckeyes.
Well, they need a lot of those skirmishes under the rim. It looks like that. They're going to be effective.
Jim O'Brien didn't mention it in his list of things no one would have expected 4 years ago. He didn't look like he'd ever averaged 12 points a game as he has this senior year. The rebound through his hands, picked up by McLean. Out for Williams' first 3.
If he has a good first half like he does second, Ohio State's going to be in trouble. They went right at Johnson, though. Gave Griffith a touch.
Frank Williams, 30th three-pointer of the year. Leads the Illini just over 15 points per game. Ryan Brown leads the Buckeyes just under 15 per game.
I guess all the good officials were busy, huh?
Slavovich finds Connolly, and Sean Connolly, transfer from Providence, is the second best three-point shooter in the Big Ten. He gets for him a rarity, a 2.
Pretty good start. Nice screen down for him. Slide behind the pick and roll. Nice front on the box, Dave.
Williams pulling up, foul line, and comes up short. Johnson at 7 rebounds per game, 7th in the league. Brown sets up the three-point try in the corner, missed by Slavovich.
A second opportunity, so devastating for a defense.
Buckeyes at 8 and 5, third. But in O'Brien's opinion, not yet assured of an NCAA bid. Johnson gets the roll. A friendly one at that. 6-3 start for the Buckeyes.
And a great look by Conley, and then the lock low by the big fella.
What about O'Brien thinking they're not in yet? 8 wins assures them of at least a break-even regular season in the Big Ten. That's got to be enough.
You think he was convincing us or himself? They play such a good schedule. I think 500 gets them in the conference, and they're way beyond that. Little nickel-dimer down the box by Williams. But this is the difficulty, I think. If Johnson's on his A game, usually they displace very well Illinois. Here, he gets it on the block. He's going to dominate. The big fella has got that jump hook down pat. You've got to push him out a little bit further, but a nice acknowledgement with the pass.
Out of Detroit, played 38 minutes in the first meeting. Somehow managed not to pick up a single foul at 15 points, 11 boards. That night he only blocked 2.
And goes zone now on the inbounds pass.
Williams already with 1 three-pointer. Not this time, capped out by Williams to Brian Cook, and they reset.
They got some shooters on the perimeter right now, too.
Sergio McLean taking it in deep, and he gets a nice roll.
And that's that little intangible. They didn't really have a good look. He dribbled between the gap. He's got great shoulder strength. Can spread you.
This Ohio State team really lacking a true offensive star. The last couple of years, they rode the backs of 2. Michael Redd and Scooney Penn. Nice drive and finish by Brown.
Not a star, but I'll tell you what, he has become a terrific basketball player, Brown.
Williams passes up his own 8-footer, and McLean caught in midair and comes down with a double dribble.
Now, you got to give him something on that, Johnson, right? Did he get a shot block, but he caused the walk? A little change. You get into his domain. That's his kitchen, and he gets heated up. Buckeyes
off to a good start. This is their home finale. They finish up on the road Saturday at Northwestern and a week from Saturday at Penn State before the Big Ten tournament. Johnson is stripped point blank by Marcus Griffin.
Good job. Just exposed the basketball. Nicely designed play, though. Cook, a tough match down in the box for Williams. He has stepped up his play, Dave.
In a major way he has. Griffin travel.
How about the big fella? 2 violations in a row because of his presence dominating down in the block. Bill Self saying, hey, he's pushing a little bit. I love the way he stays on the floor. Doesn't leave until after you leave. And then he's got the quick elevation and the wingspan to boot.
Ball sport. Early and often on the low block. Throws it away this time. As McClain cuts in front of Williams for the steal. The Illini turn it over for the 3rd straight trip.
And a nice shot by Brian Brown. Sniffing and following the dribble.
Brown past Bradford. And the kick out for a Conley three-pointer. Kept alive by Johnson. Brown follows.
Great tip to keep it alive by Johnson. Well, they look ready, huh? Mentally, emotionally, and so does the house.
Griffin.
Is that touch? A silencer.
Both rims are printed.
How about this building for a college campus? It's just utterly incredible. Almost 20,000 packed. And a homey atmosphere. Wouldn't you agree?
They've managed to get all the modern amenities. Huge capacity, suites, all that, but keep it pretty intimate as a 19,000-seat building can be, and as loud as one can be at the moment. Buckeyes turn it over, picked up by Cook. Illinois off a win at Indiana over the weekend, 67-61, and Griffin off the glass.
Too easy of an entry pass. The little kiss by the big fella. But Johnson's got to get over the top and deny.
Griffin, the hero 2 games ago, the game winner with under a second to play against Wisconsin. And tonight, the Badgers played almost a perfect game. Lost to Champaign despite hitting 55% against the top field goal defense in the country. That one by Savovich rims out.
Boy, he's had some good open looks. And look at the run out and recovery by Johnson.
And another Illini turnover, their 4th. Brown trying to make him pay, and instead will go to the line on the foul by... No, they'll call it offensive. Brown, offensive foul. His first. Brian plenty to applaud his Buckeyes leading early. Johnson, the lone senior, on senior night being honored, along with a couple of trainers who have put in some good hard work, and on hand to enjoy it with him, his grandmother, Doris Johnson, and his mother, Tanya, making the trip from Detroit, where he grew up very disinterested in the sport. He was a high school freshman before he was coached to come out, just because he was 6'7", looked like a basketball player, and over the years, he's certainly become a good one.
Burning out should not be a problem for him. Wouldn't you agree?
The knees have not undergone much pounding.
That's right. And his senior year, they didn't have a winning record. Yes, it's one of those programs where a guy was spotted and stepped it up. Continues to improve. Archibald in the game. Very tough force down below. He bangs people.
Will Dudley in for Johnson, and the foul as they go low to Robert Archibald, who's come off the bench along with Lucas Johnson and Sean Herring.
Now this is what makes it tough. The emotion of they like to establish the high-low. Will eventually see Archibald able to hold his guy off. He's strong. He's tough. He can take a hit. And in traffic, he's able to finish. That time it doesn't go down, but he understands how to use the rim.
Velimir Radinovich, 7-foot freshman from Toronto, called for the foul, and Archibald, who gets about as much out of 15 minutes per game as is possible. It's his first point.
And it's fluky how that back flares up on him, according to the coaches. It comes and goes on him. Sometimes he's pain-free, and then it's devastating, excruciating some evenings. A little full court pressure right now, Dave. 1-2-1-1.
6:01 by the Illini over the last minute and a half. Guy who has really been smoking. Brett Darby in for the Buckeyes. Radinovich goes up and draws the foul by Brian Cook, his first, team's first for Illinois.
He better go up a little tougher than that for Jimmy O'Brien. I mean, this one, I think it's a good, clean block. Look how slow and easy. You got to go after it in traffic with these Tigers.
Radinovich, that's about 6 minutes per game or so. And one of the deepest, if not the deepest bench in the country. And Indiana, the latest to discover that.
And it's talent-laden. It's physical. There's a lot of fouls to give. They lay the wood on you. Guys come in and step it up. Johnson, one of those guys that brings a little fear to the floor.
What frustrates a lot of teams is they'll hold people like Cook under par. Maybe Bradford will have it off to even Griffin, and then 3 guys off the bench will be.
And what they do is they understand when they come in what they have to do. Johnson with a wonderful post feed and a hold off by Cook. Solid basketball.
5th lead change here in the first 7 minutes. Sean Connolly taking Lucas Johnson in deep and charges.
Easy call for the official. You know you don't make a good play when all the officials agree on it, but the posting up, the relentlessness now as they turn in, and a wonderful delivery out here. Lucas on the money. You can just see the inexperience on the front. At some point you've got to give ground, turn, and play the man. Brian Cook just ate him up on that particular lob pass.
Johnson continues on his breather, and Frank Williams has had a brief one. He comes back in, and Corey Bradford out for the first time. So a backcourt of Williams and Sean Harrington, outstanding three-point shooter. Archibald working on Will Dudley.
That's a pretty play. Oh.
The feed around Radinovich to set up Cook.
Well, the more you watch Archibald, he's such a wonderful feel for this game. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
Junior from Scotland originally, in high school ball in Baldwin, Missouri.
He'll be able to play for his bagpipes.
Red Darby.
Good scrape.
Stripped by Williams. Harrington giving it up for a Brian Cook three-pointer. You say why the 6'10 guy shooting threes? Because he hits them 41%.
And how smooth was Williams. Gave it up to Harrington. Harrington gave it up to Cook. He got a great look.
So many Illini good at more than one thing. An inside scorer like Cook who can also take you out. Brown taking Harrington in.
And Cook playing a lot tougher, I think, as the season's progressed. Here's post defense. See if he gets some straight.
Dudley unable to end a stretch now of 3 minutes and counting without a basket for the Buckeyes. Harrington traveled.
A nice call because he may have charged too.
The emotion carried the Buckeyes early. Johnson ready to return after a timeout to maybe reignite the crowd. Illinois in charge at the moment. By 3 with 11:29 in the first half. Time to ask our Pizza Hut trivia question. What player made an Illini record 17 free throws against Ohio State during 96-97? Watch during the second half for the answer. The chance to win a trip to the NIT Finals in New York. Ewan Garris, Matt Heldman, Jared G, Kevin Turner, your selections.
And the selection of Jim O'Brien now is Ken Johnson, who came back in just before the break. He's played flawlessly, I think. Not fouling, dominating, making some changes. The difficulty, I think, is now a little nice, almost interception by Harrington.
Now with numbers, Brown scoring the 3-on-2.
And now that really helps them because it's an open floor opportunity without the defense set.
They had a drought of better than 4 minutes between baskets. Brian Brown ends it. He's got 6. They're within 1.
Goodbye, can make it and can dunk. Not a good look there.
Amir Kupalya. They're mailing that intended alley-oop over Archibald.
The right idea, huh? Execution. A little bit faulty.
Too much juice. Brian Brown, not a true point guard in the classic sense, and he's bumped. A little hip check by Sergio McLean, his first.
The ability ability to break the press. The gamble sets it up by Harrington, and they pull up right here. That little nylon by Bryant, who has really stepped his game up. And open floor shots, so essential for Ohio State, I think, particularly off block shots or runouts.
Last year, they got all the offense they needed from Penn and Red, and Brown stepping into that role. The night-in, night-out score out of the backcourt this year. 3 for 3 to start this game.
Boy, they harassing the passer. Take away the vision.
3-point try. Back iron. Tap back out to Darby, and then knocked away briefly by Krupalja, and still belongs to the Buckeyes. Coming up when we're done here in Columbus, a matchup out of Conference USA, surprising Marquette, the league leaders in the American Division, taking on DePaul on Al McGuire night in Milwaukee.
Pretty special evening. Spoke to Tom Crean. They're all pumped up in the city, and they loved Al, and why not? Here's the double. Got a good vision.
Found it in the corner. Now Savage, from Yugoslavia.
And see where Archibald makes Johnson catch it further from the box. That's very essential.
Radinovich tries to show some range, and Krupalja, as he's falling to the floor, gets the outlet pass to Corey Bradford.
And took a hit as well.
Bradford yet to take a shot. Just disappeared from their offense 3 games now. Archibald getting it back from McLean, but travels again.
Yeah, he hesitated, then shuffled the back foot, but who's there? Looming. And Bill Self knows you want to take it at him, but when Johnson's on top of his game, he plays angles extremely well. Here he helps, now he comes back, stays on the floor. Just an intimidating force. Makes you think a little bit.
7 turnovers now, and just the mere presence, the suggestion that Ken Johnson may get a block caused most of those 7, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think they should have a stat for that. I mean, he just creates havoc without blocking a shot on occasion.
Little damage on this end, too. He's got 6.
And again, with Griffin on him now, he locked lower. Archibald made him go out a step.
Johnson 3 for 3. Buckeyes back in front. Griffin decides to challenge him and rims out the hook.
Nice job by Martin coming down because Johnson's taking care of his guy.
Brown back out for Darby. Buckeyes look for their first 3. Instead, it's Darby all the way for his first 2.
How about that selection? Very creative as he got to the rim with the left hand. A little bounce ecstasy by Brent.
Bill Self calls time. A 6-0 run in progress for Ohio State. 15 Ohio State over number 4 Illinois. 8:42 to go. You go to Columbus and you look, and there's Kurt Herbstreit.
Well, when it's basketball season, I'm here and I cheer on the Buckeyes and like to see them do well. It's a big game for Ohio State tonight.
It's the only sport in town.
Well, you got the Blue Jackets now in Columbus, and the Columbus people are very excited about that. But this is a huge game, and Illinois, one of the best teams in the country. So crowd seems like they're starting to get into it.
The Buckeyes overachieved in your mind. Did you think they might be the 3rd best team?
No, I don't think anybody thought after losing Stoney Penn and Michael Redd and George Reese, Ohio State had a chance to be this good.
By the way, Greg, don't call me during the afternoon when I'm sleeping.
That was a tough one. I can tell you it is.
What's Ohio State playing?
Well, they're playing a little zone here, mixing it up.
Marcus Griffin misses over the 2-3.
How about the job Johnson's done defensively so far?
Kenny has to stay out of foul trouble. If he can do that, he's got a chance against Cook and Griffin, who can dominate down low. If he gets into foul trouble, Ohio State doesn't have a chance.
All right, Kirk, he is 4 for 4. 4 years ago, did you have any clue he would turn into the offensive player he is?
I don't think Jimmy O'Brien thought he could turn into this kind of player. He's turned into an offensive machine. He's really known for his shot blocking and rebounding.
Oh. And there's number 1. First block, 1 to tie 2 for the Big Ten career record.
I'm allowed to cheer and see in basketball. In football, I have to be objective. So if I start cheering, you have to forgive me.
Nice pump fake and dish.
Kicked out by McLean, reset the shot clock. And a timeout at 7:34 remaining.
Now tell me what kind of a shot this is, this little hook shot. What would you call it? Give me a description on it.
Sky hook here, right?
Well, what's he use?
He uses the body.
A little kiss.
A little kiss. No, a little kiss.
4:27 and counting. by 5, 20-15, and number 427 by Ken Johnson, one off the all-time Big Ten record. Coming up Saturday on ESPN Classic, a 12-hour tribute to the legend Dale Earnhardt. Charlie Steiner will host a retrospective that looks back at the career of the Intimidator. The 12 hours will showcase 5 of his greatest races beginning at noon Eastern Saturday on ESPN Classic. To get ESPN Classic, call 1-800-ESPN Classic.
I don't recognize you without Fowler, to be honest with you, Chris.
And Lee.
Chris Lee would be in bed by now, you told me.
Lee's already shut it down for the evening.
You've already said more in just 2 minutes with us than you say an hour upon hour with those guys.
I don't get a chance to speak with Lee out there. Chris Fowler, he's sitting back. He's collecting his notes right now. Chris Felica, I'm sure, getting ready for the big halftime show.
Hell ball, and the possession arrow gives it to the Illini.
Of course, you know this, but the emotion of the game, playing at home, that's the only thing really that's giving Ohio State an edge right now. If this was played on a neutral court, it would be probably a different story. Ohio State has to feed off the crowd to have a chance to beat the Illini.
Well, I think they ought to switch to high-low. Nice little penetration by Williams and the finish here, huh? Whoa, jump ball! Now, you wouldn't be able to get up and get that, Kurt.
No problem.
Now, that's really unusual.
You don't see that very often.
Now, the possession arrow goes to Ohio State. Now, you mentioned the emotion. Once that dissipates, though, and now you get into basics. And one of the difficulties with Illinois right now is they're not doing much around the rim because the big guys dominate.
You're exactly right. And you could get a little feel for that. Early Ohio State came out with the emotion, and they had a letdown. That's when the Illini made a run.
Are you a quarterback? Were you also a point guard?
No, I like a little baseball. I like playing basketball, but anymore you almost have to pick a couple schools. But if I played, I'd like shooting guard.
Why not? They've done a nice job reversing the ball and making the defense adjust. And Darby again getting in a little too deep.
Shot clock was under 5 when he let it go, and it's going to stay on this end.
Are they excited about the new football coach here at Tech?
Yeah, Jim Tressel, I think, is going to bring a lot of discipline and a work ethic and demand a lot from the players on and off the field, which is what I think a lot of the fans are excited about.
Now you can see the bodies that come in for this Illini team. Archibald now will body up on Johnson.
And the Buckeyes still looking for their first 3. Martin back out to Darby. Now they've got it.
Second opportunity. Hey, stand you see, please. Be a professional, Kurt.
Well, he's not technically on fresh road, so he's going nuts. Last 8 trips for Illinois, they have been scoreless.
So now that's a better look with Archibald dragging Johnson. Cook can do some damage low.
Connolly getting Bradford in midair. But a moment ago, Martin made this thing happen.
Well, the key is not to go back up if you don't have anything, and that's what they have to do, rotate people in. Illinois is so deep, it's very difficult. But you get open looks like this. The big thing I think we said today was getting some opportunities off block shots and easier layups, because this Illinois defense is very tough.
Well, and what's happened for Ohio State in their last 4 conference games, they've heated up from the outside. Brent Darby has been a spark off the bench. Sean Conley starting to play with more confidence. That's helped Ohio State on the perimeter, which obviously you can feed it back inside to Kenny a lot easier.
Walker yet to take a field goal attempt, but he gets his 2 free throws.
If Jimmy keeps this up, they may have a Jimmy O'Brien Boulevard or Woody Hayes.
They're about to.
Right?
Oh, they love it.
One of these days. Long way to go for him, though, hopefully.
Hook up on Martin tight.
Let's see where Archibald gets Johnson now. It's a little tougher shot for him.
Johnson.
So much for that philosophy.
5 out of 5 for Ken Johnson. 1 block so far. Still 1 shy of that record. But 10 points to pace Ohio State to an 8-point lead.
It's almost like Williams time, wouldn't you say, Dave? I mean, the guy's got to take over a little bit.
Not the second half yet, but he may not be able to wait till the second half tonight. Radford. A nice high scoop.
They beat you a lot of ways, don't they? With the dribble.
Brown started into the dribble. Stavovich sizes up Lucas Johnson.
Okay, Archibald is going to fatigue Johnson. He's got a little bow here and there. Jamming him up.
Illinois just breaking a drought of over 7.5 minutes without a basket. Darby's 3-pointer is down to Cook.
How
deep do you see this Ohio State team going into the tournament?
Well, I think they feel like they have to win this game before they worry about how deep they can go, because they still have to play at Northwestern and at Penn State. Those are 2 tough games for them anytime you go on the road in this conference.
I think they're in pretty good shape, but here's Johnson's bad. I think he's going glass on this shot, believe it or not, and he knocks it straight in, but Archibald right there, and then the counter, Williams comes up, pushes, and Darby fouls him to get him to the free throw line.
So much depth for the Illini on that front line. They just can try to wear Ken Johnson down.
Now he has a terrific senior night, replaced again by Dudley.
Jimmy's doing a good job of spacing his minutes, too. Had him out for 2 or 3 earlier, now gives him another blow.
Frank Williams has 1 of 2, and it'll be over the back on Cook. His second.
Brett, let me ask you, Frank Williams, next year, he and Brian Cook, they come out and test the waters?
Listen, anybody who can breathe now says they're coming out. I mean, that's the sad part. Are they ready? No, but they're talented, and guys will take a look at them. Hopefully, there's so much growth, I think, in even Williams, because he's a combo guard. He's got to learn how to run the point just a little bit more. I think Cook's getting better. You can really see him stepping up. Dave pointed out earlier, he makes threes. He's got a post-up game now. Get a little tougher, I think.
Brown out for Darby. Long on the 3. Ohio State's 3-point marksmanship just not there. 1 out of 8. Darby has that 1.
Great recognition getting back on Harrington for the 3.
Second time they've tried the alley-oop to Archibald. Cifoli overthrew the first one. Johnson overthrows this one thanks to Kirk Herbstreit. Timeout, 3:58 to go in the first half. His usual perch, we thank him for his visit. By the way, local talk show host here in the afternoon, does very well in addition to his outstanding work during football season analyzing the college game. What's been outstanding for Jim O'Brien is his ability to replace what might have been considered the irreplaceable scoring Michael Redd and Scooty Penn. George Reese as well. They lost their top 3 scorers from last year, major contributors to their run 2 years ago to the Final Four. Still may win 20, and
it's a great job he's done. Wouldn't you agree? You figure Fred's here, what a difference in this team. And Scooty's recovery from an operation, had a little knee problem.
Talking earlier this week about his preference for chemistry over stars. Not that he doesn't like talent, but talent that will disrupt the team picture is something he is not looking for. Brian Brown has 8.
And you can just see the solid deployment there. Nice little catchable bounce pass. Pretty play.
He's 4 for 4. Ken Johnson, 5 for 5. Not there for Bradford. Johnson with the foul.
They push you under in a legal sense. They're very aggressive around the rim. It's tough to stick them and move them away.
First basket by the bench for the Illini. Quieter than normal this first half. 3 minutes to go, down by 5. Dudley gets that friendly roll.
Tell you what, heck of a shot over some pretty good defense.
Buckeye bench, not thought to be nearly as deep, but they've outscored their Illini counterparts 9-4.
Tough shot.
All the way and it goes.
Tell you what, that takes some strength to make that. I think Dudley may have pushed Brown into a... And Bradford's taken over twice now where they needed to go. A little floater earlier. And this time, just real good, aggressive play. And watch this, though. All of a sudden, you're in pretty good position. And the follow-through, they end up giving it to the big fella.
So Bradford with 5 points, leading Illinois, so without a 3-pointer. But now that streak is over. You think he plays a different brand of game?
Well, you can see the middle game occurring a little bit more. He was settling early in the season. In particular, I saw the Seton Hall game early in the year. He ended up finally getting the 3 in the overtime. Look at everybody looking at the basketball. Good spacing defensively, looking to help.
Johnson back in for Dudley. And foul before we can get that move going against Archibald. Whit Watson will have the Courtyard by Marriott halftime report. Sports Center in game. He'll talk about the funeral services earlier today in Charlotte for Dale Earnhardt. And a real active trading deadline day of the NBA. More than one worth discussing. A late one that came in just as SportsCenter was leaving the air. Juwan Howard to the Mavericks for 5 players going to Washington, including Christian Laettner.
I knew you'd be interested in that one. The homeboy, huh?
Mavericks were already having a great season. Their expectations even higher.
And Mark Jackson going back to New York, too.
Johnson
Still perfect on his night. How about the elevation, too? There was no way Archibald could contest the big fella.
6 for 6. 56% shooter, 4th in the league during the year. But well beyond that in this first half. Foul before the slam by Marcus Griffin.
I think maybe down underneath Williams got a hold. Zach, now how about this elevation? I mean, he's forced out a little nylon as he's able to knock it down and stepping up on senior night here in Columbus.
Well, those two guys are perfect. And more than enough to make up for 4 out of 15 by their teammates.
A little conversation with the rest of the group at halftime. Let those two alone. But the one thing about Illinois, it's a long game. And these rotations and their ability to be physically punishing, they have stamina.
Well, look who ends up with Pat. Archibald is tied up, and it stays on this end of the floor.
No, they're not afraid to mix it up this club. Jimmy O'Brien trying to get a couple of cents in there.
Ken Johnson, the lone Buckeye senior. And it was not a guarantee he would get here. He had to make academic progress, get 75% to a degree before he was awarded this 4th season of eligibility.
Good rule, too. The NCAA approval is what he received. You're mentioning about Jimmy O'Brien and talent versus guys who fit team concept. A lot of coaches are starting to think that a little bit more.
Now, what Lon Kruger recruited for Bill Self to take over is a combination of both. Great talent that also shows great chemistry. Williams on the drive.
And there's some talent right there. And he's got the step-up ability, smooth and under control.
Down near the final minute, and the Illini have weathered a couple of Buckeye first. 3-pointer, Ryan Brown. Brown gets the lead back up to 7.
He used the screen in a terrific fashion. A little space out to get the catch.
Brown 5 out of 5 from the field. Williams with the answer. And he always seems to have the last word.
Sure, they're always within himself. No force. He can elevate over most people.
8 points for Frank Williams. That's a better than average first half for him. Now Brett Darby.
He keeps it up, huh? 15 against Alabama the other day. He has been on a roll. 15 plus the last 4 games.
Shot clock turned off. And that will be traveling on Archibald.
And who's in the middle there? The mix. That's the 3rd walk that Ken Johnson has caused. He gets in your head. He gets you a little nervous, a little apprehensive.
So Ohio State discusses 19.7 seconds. Ken Johnson, more offensive force than defensive.
This didn't come as naturally as a defensive end, but he's learning how to lock his guy. What type of shot? A little kiss with some affection. But even here, the one bounce to gather the elevation. I mean, this is a different guy during the course of his years here under Jimmy O'Brien. Getting better and better. And look at that. We're talking about the blocks all day long and almost closing in on 1,000.
Jim O'Brien talks about when they go on the road, first thing Ken Johnson looks for in the hotel was a piano to entertain with. Art major, then the poetry.
Definitely doesn't want to meet us later. A little bit of a different level.
So the 19 seconds to work with. The first meeting, Illinois won, and they led that one at home in Champaign by 7 at the half. Now the Buckeyes a chance to do at least that well.
And they run a play, which is so important. Look at this screen to get Johnson to the block. Pretty play.
His first miss, ending a string of 5 straight makes for Ohio State, so they will take a 7-point lead. The fans wanted a call that didn't come, but in 15 minutes, Ken Johnson did a little of everything. 12 points, 4 boards, 1 block, still needs 1 to tie the career record of the Big Ten. Ohio State halfway to a nice upset. They lead number 4 Illinois by 7 to Whit Watson in the studio.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by MSN. Everything you need to feel at home on the web, all in one place. And by CSFB Direct, a Credit Suisse First Boston company. Get every online advantage possible with CSFB Direct.
A very tough place to be the visitors in 3 years. Here in the Schottenstein Center, Ohio State 42 wins, beaten only 6 times. And they're halfway to a big win here, 7-point lead over number 4 Illinois, because Brian Brown and Ken Johnson have almost been perfect.
Well, Brian Brown has just been so impressive in watching tape the last couple of weeks, and they have been on their games, unerring. But the big fella with the jump hook, a little caress on that one, taking hits and making dead-end shots, and then out front with penetration, a little kiss knocked down by Brian Brown, but the space out, he used picks well. On occasion, he got down early, got those open looks. Stamina, very important for him, having 18 minutes in the first half.
Those two are 11 out of 12. Their teammates are 5 out of 16, but it's still 57% for the team. Illinois, despite hitting 52%, trailing by 7. Keep in mind, Illinois leads the country in field goal defense, 38.4%.
And they just don't get anybody over 50 right other than Wisconsin. First couple of minutes, very important for Ohio State.
And Johnson gives them a big start.
And the 6th assist by Savovich. On fire with a nice bounce pass.
Boban Savovich, lost amid the heat created by Johnson Brown, does have 6 assists now. Cook misses the 3. Johnson the board. His 5th. Largest lead of the game right here, 9 for the Buckeyes.
Nice push, pry, and then settle. And great control and discipline.
Ohio State never trailed by more than 3. We had 6 lead changes in the first half.
Not a good look there. Good defense.
Williams to steal, taking it all the way past Conley.
How about the overdrive there? Step it up. First year, well, all right. Let me move by.
Side of the glass. Run down by Brown. That turnover, the first for the Buckeyes since 7 minutes remained in the first half.
Double foul, and Johnson really got away with one. It shouldn't have been on Cook, I don't think. They both were whacking one another. Double foul, go to the possession arrow, so it's a loss of an opportunity. Watch them teeing off up here. Just now, right there's where I thought Johnson was in trouble. Once you start swimming, it makes it easy, but trying to clean it up, Tim Higgins trying to make sure nobody gets in trouble.
Ken Johnson played 38 foul-free minutes in Champaign. That's his first tonight in 55 total minutes in this series. And as active as he is, that is remarkable.
It looks like they're going to make some adjustments. Excuse me 1 second here. The referees are having a conversation as to whether it was a loose ball, double foul.
Meanwhile, it's Brian Cook's 3rd foul. Tim Higgins and Jim Berg, and it was all sorted out at the scorers table. The shot clock is showing 24 seconds. That may indeed be the issue.
But the possession arrow does give the ball to the Illini. Tongue-in-cheek, if you recall, early in the game, I said I guess the good officials were busy. What a crew here, huh?
Jim Berg, Tim Higgins, Ted Valentine, hard to get a better crew.
And 2 solid coaches to boot here with programs that have had terrific years. Bill Self, just seamless what he's been able to do. He attributes it with humility a lot to Rob Judson, who was here at Illinois with Lon Kruger. Of course, his support staff of Norm Roberts and Billy Gillespie. He's got a nice way about him. The kids have felt comfortable. He's meshed them extremely well.
All right, well, watch it again, and you'll be able to see the clock up in the corner.
Just trying to make sure.
Yeah, right at 24. Ohio State ball after the double foul. Which again was Brian Cook's third, Ken Johnson's first. Slavovich, who has not scored, but has done about everything else.
Early in the game, he had some good opportunity, but he settled in to find the people.
Brown against Williams.
Got to come get it from him.
Got clock under 10. Connolly. Brown with just his...
Oh, what a run.
And again, Williams beats everybody up the floor.
Now, he is in slow motion, but has that surge of speed to explode by defenders. He made that break. Bradford on the money with the look.
12 for Williams, who always looks like he's one step ahead of everybody else on the floor.
He just has just an unassuming way on the floor. Just a great composure. The good double.
Johnson, maybe 4 on Cook. It is.
And that's one you don't want to reach in. You do your double, force the turnover, a tough look. Forces Bill Self to make a change here. A little bit frustrated with himself.
Well, they lose a lot, but if anybody can afford the loss with 4 fouls, 18 minutes to go, it's Illinois. Will they come right back with Robert Archibald?
They get into that double foul situation. That hurts.
Didn't count on that one. Getting in deep, Connolly. Griffin got a piece of it. Now Archibald wrestling with Connolly for the loose ball. And Archibald hit with his second.
That's one of those where the little guy gets caught in front, not much more you can do. But right here, using the bounce, because if you're a good shooter like Sean Connolly is, you can get to the rim. That's one of those, maybe, just jump it up or possession hour.
Inbound pass knocked out. And off of Brown. Griffin there to muck up that play. Illinois ball, 5-point game. Their second earliest 20-win season ever, and they've got 20 for the 4th time in the last 5 years. The only time they didn't get there 2 years ago, this Illinois team dead last in the Big Ten, 3-13. But a lot of young players got a lot of playing time and set the foundation.
About smooth and talented. Stepping up, second half is his time. Craigie Williams.
He's got all 6 of their points this second half. 14 now for the game for Williams, and they get within 3.
Frankie's like a conservationist, Saves all that energy. Good kick.
Brown, big rebound. Johnson stripped away by McClain, and it's Bradford in the foot race with Connolly. Corey, no finish, no tip by McClain. Now the Buckeyes end up with it. If Johnson can get it clear, and he's fouled to the backcourt. He's hurt. Sergio McClain and goes down, but quickly pops back up. He got it in the lower midsection.
Tell you now, you've seen some Big Ten basketball. They're mixing it up a little bit. It almost looked like an Ohio State fast break if they could handle it cleanly, but you're right. Just taking a shot here as both guys sandwich him. He gets the wind knocked out of him and show a little bit and stays on the floor.
Slavovich going right to him. And Johnson now 7 out of 9.
Look at Archibald run.
Ohio State 3 times now, slow getting back, and they've been burned all 3.
And that's the stamina of Illinois because of the rotations and the fatigue factor. They're not getting back. A lot of minutes on the floor. And Archibald with a great run out.
So O'Brien calls time with Illinois in the transition game, crawling back within 1.
You just see Archibald as he heads here. You see the defense. The head is not low. Everybody's head is back. Southwood's trying to contain the dribble, but Robert with a strong send it in at the end. Terrific look at the intangibles, the aspects of McClain's game.
Time after time, Illinois has had to come from sizable deficits. Biggest one, 21 in the first half at home against Seton Hall. Most recently down 13 at the half at home to Wisconsin. Griffin won it with less than a second to go. As good a regular season game as you will see.
And you think mentally tough, but you also have to understand the number of bodies that they rotate so they're fresh mentally and physically in the second half. Little zone look here now, Dave.
Three defenders surround Dudley, who's playing in a twin tower setup now alongside Ken Johnson. It's the first time they've been in together, and it's out of bounds to the Illini.
And that's one where you got to kick it out when you got that many people around you. Look, you got a nice quick look, and instead forced the shot. And you can see the deflection out of bounds. The zone effective. You got to be patient. And I think the foul line is wide open against Illinois if they look for it.
Ryan Brown was there, and Dudley didn't see him. Williams straight on three-pointer.
Oh, Archibald, what a horse on the tin.
Bradford blocked on the baseline. Darby second.
All because of good offensive rebounding.
15:45 to play in a one-point game in Columbus. They cut what was a 9-point lead, and in the first half we asked our Pizza Hut trivia question. What player made an Illinois record 17 free throws against Ohio State during the 96-97 season? Kewan Garris, Matt Heldman, Derek G, Kevin Turner. Kewan Garris, the correct answer.
Is that your final answer?
That's the only one we've got. Log on to ESPN.com, select Garris. You did. You get a chance to win the trip to the NIT Finals and join you in New York City.
Kirk trying to call in and get the answer, huh? Free home delivery, maybe? Trying to check in here. Knowing his social life, I'm sure it is ordering pizza.
Williams giving it up, and Marcus Griffin gets the slam. Illinois' first lead since 11.5 minutes to go in the first half. 15-14 way back then.
A lot lesser players would have charged, taken an extra dribble, poised, under fire. Williams.
On this end, Buckeyes have gone cold and missed their last 6.
Stepping up the defense now, trying to force the issue.
Darby stays outside, and it's 7 straight missed shots. One with the shot clock running down. Archibald at midcourt to start the transition opportunity for Illinois.
Nice pass to Griffin. Boy, he loaded up.
Griffin throws it, intended for Bradford, stolen by the other number 13. Brown. Darby tried to get it back to Brown. Still Ohio State ball.
And Brown looked a little tired coming down that time, and he plays a lot of minutes for this team. But watch this play now as he draws a little suckage. The big fella loads up Griffin on the baseline, but that's all great control with the bounce in the lane.
Here's the drop for Ohio State. They led by 9 when it started. Johnson himself has one block, and that is a rare occurrence.
Nice double up. He's got to read it better. Look at this slip pass up. Is he taking over?
Seems like every basket for Illinois has been a layup, either in transition or good interior pass like that. 12-0 is the run now.
A good team with good individual talent and great leadership.
Well, the run has happened. Now how do the Buckeyes respond? Try and get the crowd back in it. Crowd carried into a 7-point halftime lead. Johnson worked hard, came away with nothing on the offensive glass.
And the guards go down and help. That time Bradford. Here's the reversal. See if they headhunt.
That time, Griffin trying to kick it back out, turned it over, and Brian Brown ends the drought.
And Williams wisely does not foul. Well, they got to get those open floor opportunities. They had that break 2-on-1, didn't get much out of it. That time a good counter.
Sergio McClain, there's the record-tying block by Johnson. Comes away with a rebound. And the loose ball, actually the last guy to touch it was Jim Brewer.
He's got the call, too.
He's falling into the bench. He's got the call.
I always wanted the bench burner, let me tell you. And so do a lot of other coaches. Sit down there, Jimmy Burr. But once again, the big fella, Lumen, returns to sender and gets another one here. Just solid position defense, goes up in a tardy fashion, making sure you release the basketball.
Well, that's 428 to tie him with Calvin Booth, the all-time Big Ten record.
Here comes it to double. He's got to read and face away.
Well, the first half he couldn't miss. Second half can't hit.
You see where Archibald made him catch it? A couple of steps away from the box. A little tougher catch and delivery.
Calvin Booth, by the way, in the news for another reason. He was included in that Juwan Howard Washington to Dallas trade. Archibald tipped out by Johnson. Williams. Too soft off the glass. Krupalia takes it out, and he's fouled.
Now that shows you their inner strength and aggressive nature, but Williams, a guy just decimating with the bounce.
Conley with his third. There it is, the record-tying rejection. One more, and he'll have it all by himself, but that'll have to wait. They get a breather, and Velimir Radinovic replaces Ken Johnson.
If at some time Jimmy O'Brien could rest Brian Brown, it would really help them. But you can't gamble with the game in the offense. Such a solid performer. A little zone that gives him a chance to rest.
Nate Mass, former walk-on, now a senior, on for the first time for the lineup. So they get even deeper.
And he can shoot it. Harrington can shoot it. The wing people can drill it.
Harrington trying for the three-pointer, and bad luck that.
Goodness.
And even worse luck for Radinovic.
Did everything but steal the bet. Too involved with sticking his guy. Raised the arm away from the basketball.
In the second half, Illinois owns the board. 13 to 3, so a very valuable opportunity that time for Radinovic. Buckeyes haven't had many boards. Lucas Johnson short on the three. Johnson, who keyed their win over the weekend against Indiana. Connolly rebounds his own miss.
Good kick.
Darby called for it, got it, nailed it.
What presence by Conley. And a good three-point shot.
And a foul on an elbow against Tim Martin for Ohio State.
Well, this makes every coach in the country feel good, this particular play. This is for all the coaches who wanted to say to Jimmy Burr, we've had enough, Jimmy. Take a seat. You're out of order. If you make another move, we're going to blow a technical on you.
Penn, a fixture on college hoops tonight, and that will be coming up tonight following SportsCenter at midnight with Chris Fowler and Jay Billis. All tonight's highlights. Scooney, the driving force behind their Final Four run a couple of years ago. Chris and Jay will have all the highlights of this one and everything else going on around the country. Scooney recovering from a leg injury after playing in Europe.
He sort of jump-started things for Jimmy O'Brien, and hopefully will be well-rested and warm watching Jay and Chris a little bit later. Little 1-3-1 look now. Little change on the timeout. O'Brien feels you can't stay constant against Illinois. What a look. Oh,
again, Williams finds Griffin.
He just sees it slowly, delivers accurately.
Game goes back and forth, but this is our first tie all night. 43 all.
Nice hand hedge on Brown. Good trap. Turn and look opposite.
Radinovic tried to get it back out to Brown, almost threw it away. Under 10 on the shot clock. Brown throws it in.
Great presence, too. In traffic.
Their leading returning scorer. Career just 8.7 points per game his first 2 years. He's almost doubled that this year, and he's 7 out of 10 tonight.
Got to help down there. They got the big guy. Radinovic. Well, Jimmy O'Brien went to the 1-3-1 zone, and usually you collect and your hands sort of block the passing lane. But when you get a guy that can penetrate in the gap and you can't close from the corner quickly, he will pick you apart. Gorgeous delivery.
14 points and now 3 assists for Williams. Ken Johnson back in after the second foul on Illini Radinovich. Around the horn, three-pointer. Williams, no. Johnson keeping it alive, but Martin picks it up. Buckeyes led by 7 at the half. And almost halfway through the second half, that lead trimmed to 2.
Good judgment there. A little better on the double.
Buckeyes show good ball movement and get 2 from Darby.
And Jimmy O'Brien just, I'm sure, discussed with Johnson, let's handle that double a little bit better. Make a quicker decision. Don't try and force the issue. Turn and look.
Challenging Johnson inside.
We got a piece where he just impacted on it.
Don't know if they give him a
nice play by I thought he got there. What'd you think?
Lucas Johnson thought he did too.
Pretty good effort.
Good first.
Well, the home scorer should give him a piece on this. Takes away the baseline now to turn. Look at the fadeaway he caught. He did get a piece. He got a piece.
Give him one or not. I don't think they have given him one. Right now, they have not called that a block.
Now he'll be dismissed. The stat man after this game. Not Pat McGrath, the house man.
Harris, that far.
Couldn't do without him.
Still plenty of time to break that record.
There's a screen down. They ran this the first half. People call it that screen-to-screener play, America's play. Ooh, on the back.
Darby surrounded by blue.
I say he blocked it, Dave, and I just think he just changes it a little. Watch.
I say no. And it took 3 angles for me to say no.
Wow.
So as he's moving from Washington to Dallas, Calvin Booth can take refuge in the fact that he still has at least a piece of the mark. Darby now 13 points. He's had 4 straight of at least 15, hitting at least half his shots in all 4.
And as important as the lack of turnovers, only 3 turnovers in the last 4 games. So he's done a nice job adjusting in the backcourt.
You know, one thing that's been refreshing about this game, hardly any free throws. Buckeyes now 4 of 4. Illinois 6 of 8 at the line. Under the 9-minute mark, Ohio State back up by 6.
And what a call by Bill Self. He puts Archibald out high to bring Johnson away, and then they work down low. Cook with the 4 fouls, answering.
Cook got number 4, just under 18 minutes to go. And right now, back into the game, and Self trusting him not to foul out.
Here's the high-low. You see Johnson out playing Archibald. This is what makes this team such a tough out. Brian Cook's got range, whether it's 3 or medium range or a low box area. And a pretty good pull. Get the big fella out of the area where he can damage you.
Archibald with his 3rd foul. Johnson, 999 career points. We're close to another milestone. And this is one more area where he's improved. 74% free throw shooter. That's right up there with about any big man in the country, although he misses both of these.
Boy, you're killing him, Dave. He's come so far and so far to go. A little 2-3 look right now. This is where Williams is dangerous.
This is on the run. Conley clears it away from Archibald. Starts to break. Brown pulls up and has 2. A long 2 for Brown.
A little dagger there early.
Might be the loudest we've ever heard a crowd at Ohio State.
I'll tell you, these fans came to enjoy themselves, and this team is giving them great moments. Nice pass.
Hook. No. Martin cleared it. Buckeyes on a 13-4 run over the last 6 minutes. Johnson fouled. That may be 4 on Archibald.
Tell you what, he didn't have good recognition there. He could have been called for walking. Could have been a clean strip. But he's got to be careful. He made a good decision earlier. But here the defense settles. And when he got a little courage, definitely a deuce. They back off. A little nylon by the ever-improving combo guard, Brian Brown.
Now there's a 1,000. 15 on the night. He's 39th all time in that category. Radford and Archibald out. Archibald with 4 fouls. Only 1 out of 4 at the line for Johnson. 7-point game. 7:25 to go.
Straight up, man-to-man.
Right about now starts Frank Williams' time, and he gives it up to Griffin again. 3rd time that connection has worked here in the 2nd half.
I'll tell you what, Frank got to the foul line, too. What penetration and deflection from the rear now. Not a good play.
McClain sneak attack on Darby to get the steal.
Look at Cook run the floor now. A little too much heat. You put it in the one hand. Nice, easy chest pass. They could have had what they wanted.
First 33 minutes have been special. 6:58 still to go. To Archie.
He's got a little piece of a little trophy at home, but a guy that may have a trophy before it's all said and done. Frank Williams against the 2-3 zone, finds a little space, delivers. Here's another little left-hand look. He gets fouled on this man-to-man play and still makes the pass. I mean, that's a wow delivery, and he beat a little picky, the little turnover before the break, a little softer pass. Cook would have had a deuce, but Griffin certainly effective, but not as much so with Johnson playing him.
3/4 court pressure applied by the Illini, trailing by 5.
Good trap situation now.
They've been behind most of the way with the rest of the Big Ten. No doubt rooting hard for Ohio State, especially up in East Lansing. They're loving what they've seen so far.
You know, Tom is checking this one out. You can't blame them. It's heating up, but a week to go.
Orange trying to get at least a piece of their 4th straight conference championship.
The big guy in the box, Griffin, dislodging Johnson.
And again, when we're done here, we go to Milwaukee on Al McGuire night for DePaul and Marquette. What a great description of Al McGuire. The Chicago Tribune today, Skip Myslenski said Al McGuire insisted always on a life of imaginative reality rather than unimaginative realism. That sums him up or what?
Well, Skip agreed. A very talented writer. Covered the college scene for years. And yeah, Al's one of those fellows, when you had a conversation, you weren't sure what he meant. It may have taken a couple of days later to figure out the impact. He enjoyed life to its fullest. God bless him.
Johnson's problems continue at the line, where he's just 2 out of 6. But he's got 16 points, 1 less than Brian Brown.
Keeps the dribble alive. Nice job. And a kickback.
Harrington, the number 2 3-point shooter in the Big Ten, his first points tonight.
What an addition to the high pick and roll. You turn the corner and a slap back pass by Williams. Whatever is necessary. Good step through.
Just like that, lead cut in half as we hit 6 minutes.
They'll screen away. They don't get the double quick enough.
But Johnson fumbles it away.
He went the baseline side away from the traffic, but you got to protect it. This is a well-designed play. Here's the high pick. Now watch, as you turn the corner, we're going to get the little kickback pass because the defense has to help. You can't contain Williams on your own. So Brown needed some support. Pretty play.
This thing may be decided by the 2 best 3-point shooters in the league, Conley or Harrington, or maybe Williams, who's 35% from out there.
Conley sticking it in.
That's 9 this half, 17 in the game for Williams.
Now, I knew he was good coming in here, but this good, Dave, this is extraordinary.
The people who watch him every night have seen this just about every night.
Pretty footwork. Oh, my goodness. Nice play by Timmark.
His first basket, a timely one.
They're not going away either. Button up, Dave Barnett. Same play.
Williams tried to give it up again to Griffin. That's worked already 3 times here in the second half. 13th Illinois turnover this time.
And not a good play here by McClain.
His 3rd foul.
Well, there's certain times within the flow of the offense, you can see everybody goes way behind the pick. A little nylon by the combo guard. He can do whatever he wants. He can dominate in the lane, can step back and make threes. But more importantly, his field generalship is extraordinary.
Second halves this year for Williams: 16 against Maryland, 18 against Arizona, 17 against Seton Hall, 16 against Michigan, 18 a couple of games ago against Wisconsin. They needed every one of them to pull that one out. Right now he's replaced by Corey Bradford. McClain also leaving. Illinois also has put Ohio State now in the double bonus.
He's almost like a prize fighter, the way he feels the first half out, sees what direction the game is going, then he steps up a little bit in the second half.
1 of 2 for Brown. 56-53.
Griffith on the come out. This is better for them. Put Cook inside, and Johnson comes high. He can make this.
Cook from Harrington almost made it. Ohio State ball.
Got the look they wanted. Bill feeling he should have had that deflection out of bounds.
Worth reminding people may not watch the Big Ten every night. Illinois only plays Michigan State once, and they won that meeting. And so Darby's blocked by Griffin. If it's a tie, Illinois would get the top seed in the tournament, but Michigan State would still be able to claim a co-championship.
Boy, good coverage.
Harrington trying another three.
What poise on the ball reversal. And Brian Cook, almost like a point forward mentality. Terrific kick, and Harrington, who gets the puppy set. Boy, he makes some timely goals for this team. Good step-up shooter, good field, 46% from threes.
And his last 8 games, 60% from threes. That's sick is what that is. 2 for 3.
Pretty efficient. They got Sullivan's in the corner twice now.
Darby and Brown and Savovich around the perimeter. First point tonight for Boban Savovich to answer the trifecta by Sean Harrington, and the Buckeyes back up by 3 with 3:33 to play.
They got a timeout. Savovich was free twice, and that time they found him. Well, around the horn, and this is the press. They get back in their half-court defense. Savovich with a big jumper from deep. But this is just great presence, I think. All the way around the horn. Defense can't cover all the spots. And Harrington, it's more than the luck of the Irish. That's ability, folks.
I thought last week I wouldn't see a better game all year than Wisconsin, Illinois. This one may be.
How about that finish, too, right? The set play on the out-of-bounds. And what a way to end that one.
This is it at home for Jim O'Brien. He goes to Northwestern, which is no longer anybody's gimme. They've proven that this year. Penn State learned it last night, and then they go to Penn State next weekend.
I just had to feel there was no way Billy Carmody was not going to go through the year without some wins.
Illinois right now has the longest winning streak in the Big Ten. 5 in a row, 9 of 10, 14 of 16. The one loss in the last 10 was in overtime to Penn State. Boy, that's close to a 10-game winning streak in the league. Buckeyes have won their last 4 in league, so they both came in at a peak. And that's how they played this one.
Real solid. Sean Henry with a good move in there, just may have gotten a little bit too deep. And they get the offensive foul. I think Darby on the screen. That's the play I was describing earlier. They screen across and then get a screen down. Brent Darby a little too physical.
Darby's third, 3:02 to go. O'Brien leading by 3. Down now to the wire. Ohio State has led most of the way, still nursing a 59-56 lead behind Ken Johnson, who has tied the Big Ten career blocks record with 2. And there they are. So he's at 428. Calvin Booth of Penn State a couple of years ago set that bar at 428. Our Miller Lite storyline. The Illini hitting almost half their shots. Frank Williams, 17 and 5 assists. And Ohio State's bench has outdone maybe the best bench in the country.
I think that's the biggest shock of all. They stepped up, contributed in a solid fashion, but all on the big fella's shoulders. So he has keyed the defensive effort. Just solid. A lot of changes that just don't show in the box score.
All right, so how good can these last 3 minutes be?
Tough to top the last 37. This is effective. I think Archibald drags Johnson. They got McClain who can post up with Williams.
Archibald and Cook both in with 4 fouls. Archibald travel.
He's had trouble with the big guy. Can't elevate quick enough, and they're not sure what he called. Archibald doesn't want to give it up. And they finally get the understanding. Roberts going to have to make quicker decisions. Elevate or kick.
Substitution for number 52.
And he'll leave, and Griffin will check in for him.
Extended pressure right now.
Well, they've been going three-quarter court. Now they've got Williams and Harrington all the way through the backcourt. Darby on the dribble. 2.5-minute mark.
Cook looking to help on the double. Zach Williams might end up with an open look.
Ryan Brown. Savovich. And back. Shot clock at 7. Brown somehow spotting Darby on the baseline. Johnson will get it back out of there.
Don't need it. Good poise. Great kick out by the big guy.
Johnson, 7th rebound.
Griffin's got to really stick him on a miss.
Questionable flop decision there by Sergio McClain, and he ends up with his 4th foul.
He got the legs and the hands involved from the floor. And Bill Self can't believe it. Interesting, Bill was talking about guys picking up charges when they're in a situation where you've got to move and contain your guy before the game. But right here, he doesn't really quite well. You know, that's one of those Bill's going to say he should have gotten the call. And look at disbelief, but then insult to injury.
Illinois will call time. McClain, Cook, and Archibald all have 4 fouls. So Bill Self has to use every bit of his depth tonight. Saturday, a day-night triple-header here on ESPN, beginning at noon in the Atlantic 10. Dayton takes on Temple. Here in the Big Ten at 7 Eastern, Michigan State travels to Happy Valley. Penn State really needing every win they can get as they look to try and return to the NCAA tournament this year. The nightcap comes from the Big 12. Iowa State, 6th ranked this week, will be in Austin to take on the Longhorns at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. All right, I asked you who was the player of the year in the Big Ten, and you would say, I'd go on Frank Williams. You with me?
Yeah, you know, it's one of those, I think eventually as the year ends, whoever wins for the league, I would go for. Jason Richard just announced in here, Hastings been phenomenal, I think. But I would go now for Williams. At 203 smile, we got to get Kirk to loosen up a little bit. But boy, all 3 have been solid all year long. But Frankie tonight has just stepped his game up. Now can he push him over the obstacle? That's the key.
Buckeyes 7 of 12 at the line. First trip for Savovich. He's 76% for the year, and he is struggling along with everybody else. Jim O'Brien getting grayer by the moment. Here in the second half, they're 5 out of 11. 1 out of 2 for Boban.
And what helps Jimmy O'Brien down the stretch, he's always been an advocate of a 3-guard look, whether it was BC or here, and now they go zone. Let's see, no, straight up enemy.
Williams gets Brown. Oh, my goodness. He's fouled.
How strong do you have to be to pump and elevate and then take the hit? Brian Brown can't believe a little small change on the wrist. Look at this pump. And right there, he may have gotten the hand and dislodged the ball just enough. They say the hand's part of the ball, but that takes an awful lot of working out in the gym. Big-time numbers.
First free throw this half for Illinois. It can be the 20th point for Williams. He's got another double-figure second half takeover job with 12 of his 20 in the second.
Bruce Parkville alongside longtime Penn State coach Volpe Carter, Dave Spiller, and this has been an incredible ball game. Both clubs taking hits, giving hits.
Illinois will either lead by a game and a half or a half game over Michigan State.
Baseline run.
Shot clock at 10. Darby. Too quick for McClain.
He may have lost that. Pretty good D.
And it's 10 to go. Illinois shooting for the lead.
I think Cook can do some damage with Williams low.
Williams for the lead.
Who needs anybody else, huh? Frankie! Goodness, you said MVP. This performance, MVP-ish.
Timeout, Ohio State with 51.2, and Frank Williams is doing it again.
Well, whatever they have needed, whether it's penetrating to find others or taking advantage of himself, he's got hops enough to get over most guys his size. When you have a smaller guy on him, it's rather easy. But he's made big-time decisions, whether outside of the perimeter, and they're regaling along the Illinois sideline.
Illinois will host Iowa Saturday, and then they finish up at Minnesota a week from Sunday. So if they get this one 12-2, with those two left, and Michigan State would then be a game and a half back. Ohio State trying to keep ahead of Wisconsin in the battle for third. Jim O'Brien told us today he did not consider his team a lock for the NCAAs, but they can't finish worse than 8-8. In the last 2 years, every 500 or better Big Ten team has made it, even a 7-9 Purdue 2 years ago.
He's trying to sell his team as well, but here's a situation where you know if Johnson gets it, you're going to get a double. So you can do something with him if he makes a good decision, whether it's a kick opposite or a dive to the goal. They like the high pick and roll on occasion. There's a screen down.
18 shot clock, 38 in the game. Darby again going to work on McClain, who's got 4 fouls. Connolly, a 3 for the lead.
How about making yourself available by Sean Connolly? Savlovich locked his guy up. Good run. They're not ready to play. I don't see a timeout yet. Yeah, they do get the timeout.
Sean Connolly hit just his second bucket of the night.
They love to run the guard along the baseline and discard people with the post rush, but how about Boban? He was loading up on the block like a big fella. He wanted to dump down. But so important to avail yourself, particularly when somebody's stuck down the perimeter. I'd say Frankie right now. Let Frankie make a decision. Run your stuff.
Why would you do anything else?
Remember the ability to turn the corner off a high screen and get some help and then find people. Bill Gillespie alongside there from your end of the woods down in Texas.
Williams has scored 8 of their last 11. 22 for the game. 14 here in the second half. 29-second shot clock on.
They only need 2, and that's what they should think of. And occasionally, with a drive, you got to worry about Harrington lining up. So whoever's guarding him better stay at home. He may be open for a 3 on penetration. Good double up.
Williams loses his footing, and they get a timeout call before he can fumble it away. And that's the last timeout. One timeout remaining for Illinois. They each have one. down a point. 2 seconds left. Inbounds lob. Marcus Griffin gets the winning basket to end that classic against Wisconsin, 68-67.
And Bill Self telling us a little push by Griffin got him legally free. Now here's a case where they're going to probably inbound it towards half court, so it won't be any sort of a lob. And they love to establish on the top of the key and somebody low. Griffin is very tough in the low block area, but with Johnson there, he has not been able to elevate and get very many good looks.
Sergio McClain to inbound it. They want it out of Williams' hands. They double it. And he gives it up to Cook. Now Harrington. And back. Cook for three. Short rebound. Tim Martin fouled. 7.2 seconds.
Just didn't get enough air under Brian Cook. Got a good look. They rushed out on Harrington. Talk about scouting and preparation. Didn't want Shaw to give him the opportunity, but more importantly, as you noted, Dave, the drag by Williams of two people. This is the end result. A good challenge. Step it up, Martin. And you must rebound in these critical situations. He challenged the jumper, screened his guy off, and now with an opportunity to step to the line. And unfortunate, if it is him, it's 44% free throw shooter. He struggles.
Sergio McClain fouls out with only 2 points. And only 3 rebounds. And worth noting again, the Ohio State free throw shooting has been problematic. 8 out of 14. Just over 70% for the year.
Well, this is something Jimmy O'Brien was stressing. The three-point play hurt them up above, whether it was Kupalia or Cook. Look at the challenge, the closeout, the checkout. Keep yourself between the shooter and the rim, and Martin gets the foul. They put Darby on the line. Let's see. Oh, they tried it. They tried it. Oh, my goodness. What a tough time to do it. If you take advantage of the rules, officials could call a technical. Fortunately, they did not.
Yes, 47% for the year. First trip tonight. And Illinois will still have a one-possession situation.
Now, the big thing is you do not want to go over the top if you're Brown or Johnson inside. And a big decision, you mentioned no timeouts for Illinois.
Actually, we've got him with 1. Martin missed his everything, so Illinois 7.2 seconds. Still down 2.
And plenty of time with a speed dribble. Well, they had 1, I guess. That was the last.
This now is the last. So, the worst of all possible free throw options. 47% shooting, Tim Martin.
I mean, he did everything right, checked his guy out. Now you've got a situation with a speed dribble. It might be worth it for Ohio State to take Williams out of the play totally. Don't let him get a touch. Face guard him. Don't play the inbounder. Play another guy, 2 people on him, and then make it tough. Once they inbound it, the man playing Williams deny the basketball. Let somebody else speed dribble or make some decisions for them.
That sounds real good.
It does, but he's so quick to get free.
Now we'll see if it's possible. Illinois, home to Iowa, at Minnesota, Michigan State. 2 on the road that will both be tough. Both here on ESPN, Penn State, Wisconsin, before they close with Michigan in East Lansing. And this has been as good a regular season game as you could ever ask for.
I've had some week on ESPN, let me tell you.
It's you.
Yeah, I know. The kids, they play so. Villanova, West Virginia, Georgetown, St. John's, and then tonight. This has just been magnificent.
Buckeyes have led almost the whole night by as many as 9 points. As loud a crowd as they've probably ever had here in the 3 years of the Schottenstein Center.
Dave, you don't want to gamble. You got to keep somebody back for a step and go. And that's what they do. They double up on Williams. Let somebody else catch. And it might be Bradford, the guy to get free.
Bradford, 3rd straight game, no three-pointer. 5 seconds. Williams. Williams will be way short, and Ohio State hangs on for the upset.
Pretty impressive preparation on the pressure.
sees its 5-game winning streak end 63-61. Ohio State, they can punch their tickets officially for the NCAA. One last look at the Hubler three-point try by Frank Williams.
And what a challenge defensively, just extraordinary. Not given the open look, and it started with the inbounds pass. They caused some havoc. Once Williams got it, they doubled them in the backcourt, then trailed them, and then stepped up. Just terrific preparation.
The Buckeyes celebrate a big one, 63-61. They hang on against Illinois for Bill Raftery. Dave Barnett, now back to Whit Watson.
All right, gentlemen, NBA action.
Thank you, Mike Gleason. It's the Hawkeyes and the Illini on Senior Day. Illini rated number 4 in the country. We're at the Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois. The Illini lead the Big Ten Conference, but things have tightened up considerably by way of the loss the other night in Columbus, Ohio. Good afternoon. Jim Barber along with Sean Morris. The headlines were supposed to read the clinch today, but it didn't happen because Ohio State won the other night, so Illinois still in good position, and Frank Williams has helped get them in that position.
You're absolutely right, Jim. Frank Williams coming off a Big Ten Player of the Week award-winning honor as you take a look at his stats through the week of February 19th, but really played well at Ohio State with 22 points and 5 assists. You'll take a look at it right here. He played under much more control of his second year in the Illinois program than he did, taking better shots, not as nearly as many ill-advised shots as he did earlier in his career. He's playing extremely well, particularly getting his teammates involved, playing much more under control. He is a leading Big Ten MVP candidate as we head down the stretch here.
All right, Sean, let's take a look at the Dodge keys to the game. We begin with the Hawks.
Well, for Iowa, they have to defend the dribble. Purdue was able to break them down off the bounce and look for Frank Williams to try to do the same here this afternoon. And then they're going to have to handle pressure. Illinois, I really expect them to turn up the defensive heat here on Senior Day in Champaign. Then for Illinois, they have to get cooking early. That means Brian Cook. He's been kind of an enigma. He provides a lot of matchup problems. They need to get him going early and then going inside at Reggie Evans using their depth.
Just moments ago, this man was honored on Senior Day. He is Serge McClain. An emotional day for McClain and Griffin and the others. It's Illinois, Iowa next.
Everything would be different. Citgo. At Citgo, we enjoy basketball as much as you do. Citgo, we know you. 7-Up and your local 7-Up bottler. Make 7-Up yours. Cooper Tires. A lot of mileage for the money. Cooper Tires. Drive on. Comfort Inn. It's more than a room. It's comfort. CSFB Direct. Invest online with CSFB Direct. And by Prowl Herbicide. The verdict is in. Commit the ultimate justifiable herbicide.
Senior Day, Assembly Hall, Champaign, Illinois. The Illini say goodbye to 4 seniors, including Marcus Griffin moments ago with his parents. Boy, that just must feel chilling at times to the people that are coming out.
Well, you take a look at Marcus Griffin, and then that was just a wonderful shot of Sergio McClain, because there are so many things that go through a young man's mind on this is his last regular season home game. It's really not to be overly dramatic, but it is a passage. It's a passage in a young man's life because so much has gone into getting up to this point in time in one's career, the travel, the preparation, the friendships that are developed over a course in time, because outside of their family, it's going to be very difficult for someone to be involved with anyone more closely than they are with their teammates.
Well said, Sean. Let's take a look at the CSFB Direct starting lineups. We begin with the Iowa Hawkeyes. Reggie Evans coming off another super game in rebounding and also got to the free throw line 22 times. And note the freshmen, 3 of them out there today for the Hawks again.
And Brody Boyd playing well as of late, double figures in his last 3 starts.
Might be tougher to get the shot off today against a good defensive Illinois team. Speaking of shooting, Corey Bradford had 88 games in a row with a made 3, and then the last 3 he hasn't had one at all.
I really look for them to try to get him off a little bit early. Look for him trying to come off some screens and try to get on track, try to stretch this Iowa defense, and then really pound it down low, as we talked about, trying to go at Evans and using that depth that Illinois enjoys along the front line.
Obviously, Illinois is at full strength. Iowa is not. They'll be without Hogan and Record today, 2 very key instruments in their success as Bill Self gets his team running. And when will that man come back? Maybe the NCAA tournament, maybe the Big Ten tournament. Nobody's quite sure at this point because of the broken kneecap.
When you take a look at what he has meant to this squad, not only the scoring, but the field goal percentage, a very interesting one. not only because of what he brought from his ability to produce, but he also drew so much attention that his teammates got cleaner looks. You see that their field goal percentage has dropped off in his absence as well.
So Recker's gone for a while. That means Iowa had to go a little deep to bring somebody back to the flow. How about Kyle Galloway? Where was he for a while this year?
Well, 3 weeks ago, he was probably sitting in his dorm room watching games on TV. But, you know, now he's back in there and probably getting more into game shape, Jim, and getting his legs under him. We've known his ability to shoot the basketball. He's been able to come in and give them 12 or 13 minutes and stretch the defense. He's probably rounding into game shape as the season winds down.
Steve Alford's team, a big win the other night. Kyle Galloway, a big performance in that overtime victory against the Boilermakers in a game set up a long time before the season started, but the fact that both Purdue and Iowa desperate in need of a win, it came out Iowa in OT. So the Hawks, a tough afternoon today against Illinois. Remember, they beat the Illini by 16 about a month ago, and this season series has been pretty tight. That game back in January 11th, Illinois got crushed on the boards by Iowa.
Absolutely. 47-27 advantage for the Iowa Hawkeyes at home, and Carver Hawkeye against a much larger and more experienced front line than Illinois put out there on the floor. It was a game of nip and tuck for a long period of time, but then Iowa went on a run and closed that game out. Don't think that Illinois has forgotten that by any stretch of the imagination. Plus, they're coming off a very difficult loss. Are the Illini at Ohio State on Wednesday, a game which they actually played pretty well. Ohio State just played an outstanding game and defended the home court as most teams have done throughout this Big Ten season.
Yes, I heard the word payback, not from that man, but from a lot of the players during practice yesterday. And this rivalry is difficult enough in terms of emotion. The two schools haven't liked each other for a long time because of recruiting battles. And the fact that they are border states, schools that winning this game is pretty important. For Steve Alford, first victory over Illinois came about a month ago in a game we just highlighted moments ago. He knows it's going to be tough today, and in fact, he told his team going up against Illinois, there's no pressure on us. We're not expected to win. Go out and have some fun.
I think the biggest concern, if you're Iowa coming into this game, Jim, is going to be on the defensive end of the floor, because Wednesday night at home against Purdue, the Boilermakers were able to get into the paint off the dribble. Look for Frankie Williams to really try to exploit them in that way this afternoon.
Those numbers of 118 points in each of the two games, it seems like that was done 30, 40 years ago. We don't have those type of scores anymore in this league. Iowa is set and dialed in. Hawkeyes with 18 wins. If they're not already in the NCAA tournament, they're right on the verge of it. And a big win the other night against Purdue that stopped the bleeding for the moment. For Illinois, question is, will they get a top seed in the NCAA tournament?
I think a lot of it's going to depend on how they close out the season, how well they play in the Big Ten tournament, but you really have to like their chances because they have outstanding guard play in Williams. If Bradford rounds back into form, that'll give them another dimension that, quite frankly, they haven't had for a good part of the year. And then that depth along the front line can really wear people down. You know, when you've got a guy like Archibald that can come in, give you 15 minutes and about 4 rebounds per outing, that's pretty good productivity off the bench. Krupalia, Cook, as you see right there, and Griffin, they can wear teams down.
And Cook needs to stay out of foul problems. Same thing for Marcus Griffin. There have been times this year when Illinois' front line has got deep into foul trouble early, and that has minimized the amount of playing time they've had in those big games. It is an emotional day for Illinois and 4 seniors who will likely see some playing time today. They're set to go, so are the young Iowa Hawkeyes with 3 freshmen in the starting lineup. Illinois gets the tip and goes to work first. The man with all the speed, 30, Frank Williams. Looking inside early. Good pass to Marcus Griffin. Nicely done.
Nice job by Sergio McLean. Had a triple-double earlier this year. One of those triple-doubles was obviously on the assist category. You saw it right there, the ability to draw the defense. Nice lead for his longtime teammate, Marcus Griffin.
Bill Self was asked earlier in the week, what do you say to the seniors today? Well, to Marcus, I say, let's make those easy ones. Good defense by the Illini, and they come back in a foul called on Dean Oliver. Boy, this place is energized early.
And boy, Griffin off to a nice start. He scores the first basket. You take a look right here. The interior feed to McLean. Evans, Reiner rotates over, which leaves Griffin wide open. He finishes. Then on the defensive end of the floor, he blocked 2 shots in succession, which led to that transition opportunity for the Illini.
And you knew they'd be cranked up today. And we certainly have seen some of that emotion early. McLean has a look at a 3. It is 5-0 Illinois. Iowa needs to find a way to calm the crowd down. They're going to be in their face all day long if possible. This is Oliver for 3. Got it. Dean Oliver had such a rough game last year at Assembly Hall. Made only 1 field goal. That should get him going early.
Nice movement without the ball by Oliver. Came off a nice little baseline screen from Reiner.
Double team against Marcus Griffin, and it rolls out. Reggie Evans with a rebound. Who else for Iowa? Oliver, nice pass to Evans. Strong to the basket. He dunked it. And after a 5-0 start by Illinois, we're tied.
Well, a nice job by Oliver coming under control at the foul line and then rewarding Evans for running the floor. Nice job of running the wing and the strong finish.
Good start offensively, Sean, for both teams. No basket for Bradford. Ed Hightower spots the foul. Field goal will not count. Corey Bradford took 3 shots the other night against Ohio State, and all of them were in the first half.
Take a look right here. He rebounds at the other end. On the defensive end, runs the floor, and then a nice delivery from Dean Oliver. Evans catches it, sends it home.
He's nicknamed Joker. Nothing funny about that.
Especially if you're at the rim.
Yeah. He's made a living in his 2 games against the Purdue Boilermakers. And speaking of the inside game, Marcus Griffin's getting loose.
Well, Reiner just lost him right there, the freshman. There was a little bit of inexperience by the big 6'11" kid from South Dakota. Just didn't put a body on Griffin. He made him pay.
Reiner crashes the boards, and the ball is out of bounds. Another look at Illinois, and their interior passing very strong so far.
We talked about the importance of going inside, and we see it early and often by the Illini. Nice job by Griffin of stepping in. Reiner doesn't eliminate the flash cut, able to get to the rim and finish.
Moments ago, Sergio McLean picks up his first foul of the game. It is 7-5 in favor of Illinois. And out of bounds to the Illini.
We mentioned Brody Boyd, Jim. He's really shot the ball well as of late, but I really expect Illinois to get into his grill and make him put the ball on the floor, not allow him any good standstill looks.
Another 3 on the way, not this time. Illinois not in position to get the rebound, but the Hawkeyes lost the ball. There were 3 Iowa Hawkeyes around the ball.
Outstanding play by Sergio McLean. He's willing to give his body up. He goes down on the deck. 2 Iowa guys reach for the ball. McLean gets down there in the scrum, knocks it off a Hawkeye. Illinois will retain possession.
How much are they going to miss Sergio McLean after this year?
His stats aren't that gaudy, but he just makes so many great, solid basketball plays.
Oliver misses the layup. It was contested. Back comes Illinois, and with numbers. Williams. And that one knocked away, picked up by the Hawkeyes. This one has knocked black for energy on both ends. Oliver another 3, not this time. Quick shot taken by the Hawks, but they'll keep the ball. I like Bill Self's coat today.
Yeah, he looks like he could be working in a toll booth with that thing.
He could sit in the Orange Crush section today, and
we're wearing that in honor, obviously, of the seniors and Illinois' colors. What a job he's done in his first year here. A lot of expectations of this squad coming in, and boy, have they fulfilled, if not all of them, most of them.
He's got a wonderful manner with his team. He gets in the face of his players when needed, but other than that, very supportive. And in fact, even with a tough loss the other night against Ohio State in Columbus, still felt his team played a great game, just didn't close it.
Well, absolutely. And Ken Johnson really played well for the Buckeyes. Every shot he took was contested. He just made tough shots. His front line did a nice job.
I was at the game. This is a great atmosphere in Ohio State protecting its home court very well this year against rated teams.
Good defense by Bradford.
And Bradford strong to the basket.
Well, Bradford just stripped Boyd on the far end, then gets out on the breakout, able to convert.
Dean Oliver very active in this game so far. That's a good sign for the Hawkeyes. Illinois surrounded him last year in the game at Assembly Hall and wasn't able to do much at all.
Marcus Griffin, number 52, picks up the foul.
The foul is on Marcus Griffin.
First foul on Griffin.
So Griffin has one, McLean has one, Cook has one. We've only played 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Brody Boyd, as coach said, the shot faking will do him well, especially against a team like this. Said he's got to stay away from jumping in the air. He's only 5'6", according to Coach Alford. And there is a pretty three by Brody Boyd, who's a little taller than 5'6", 5'11", standing tall on that play.
And that's why, if you're Illinois, you have to find him and jam him, make him put the ball on the floor. He's a deadly standstill jump shooter.
On the turnaround, Brian Cook would have basket his first field goal of the game, 11-8 Illinois.
And if you're Illinois, that's a good sign, because sometimes Cook tends to float too much out to the perimeter. Get him down low, get him established.
Illini back on offense, and Bradford hands to McLean. McLean already has a made three to his credit. Bradford for three, and that breaks the drought. 3 games in a row without a three. Bradford says enough of that.
And what cleared that play up for Bradford was a nice little dive cut. They didn't have good spacing. Cook goes from the elbow, cleans out the defender, which allowed Bradford to fade to the corner.
And they worked yesterday in Illinois' practice on spacing and screening to get Corey Bradford some looks. Nice roll in there. Sonderleiter getting a chance to play. He's also had a start to his credit. Very young Iowa team.
Nice job by the freshman, coming under control in the lane.
Well, right now, Iowa not finding an answer to Illinois' inside game. This game has got up-tempo written all over it as Boyd misses the three. Nobody blocked out, and Iowa had a chance at a rebound. Picked up again, and Worley is fouled. A foul on Illinois. Steve Alford with a look. A lot of offense in this game so far, partner.
Well, good hustle play by Evans. He's not able to come up with the initial tip, but stayed with the play. Sonderleiter also very big because he didn't give up on it. The ball just jars loose. Evans there. Actually, it's Worley who's going to go to the line. Another good-looking freshman, as you mentioned, Jim. A very young Iowa squad in more cases than not. Oliver, obviously, a mainstay as a senior, but you take a look at who they have out there right now. Sonderleiter, a freshman. Worley's a freshman. Evans, a newcomer from the JUCO ranks, and Boyd, a freshman. So a very young Iowa squad out there right now.
All total for the Hawks, 5 freshmen on this team, and again, 3 getting a start today. It's not the first time that Steve Alford has done that. So far, pretty effective start as Worley gets both free throws, and Iowa hangs tough in the first 5.5 minutes. Well, we have not lacked for entertainment. 14-31 for the first half. A high-scoring start to Illinois and Iowa.
Lead. Providence down 1. They go for the game winner. Ramal Augustine, 14-footer. Oh, a little bit shy. BC holds on to win it, so Boston College has their 20th. They're now 20-4. Let's go back to Jim and Sean in Champaign.
Thanks, Mike. Couple of great finishes in college basketball today. That one and the one between Duke and Wake Forest.
Well, Wake Forest, what a tough way to lose. Duhan with the runner at the buzzer. You take a look at the field goal percentage. We talked about the importance, Jim, of Illinois going inside. They've done that early and often. It's reflected in 78% shooting.
We'll see if Iowa can have a defensive answer to that as they start with a zone after the timeout. Griffin goes inside, and Iowa comes back with the ball. Kyle Galloway for 3. And Iowa's getting some offensive rebounds so far. Again, they out-rebounded Illinois by 20 the last time they met. They've already got 3 offensive boards. And there's Evans with another offensive rebound. That one's short. We got a foul coming up, and it's on Iowa. But Iowa doing a nice job in the rebounding category so far.
And when you think of rebounding, obviously you usually think of Evans, but on that possession, Sonderleiter, the freshman, did a nice job of tracking down the initial miss by Galloway in the corner. Duez Henderson also very active, even though they don't come away with a basket. An encouraging sequence right there for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
And I believe that's what Bill Self is talking about right now, not getting position, not getting to the loose balls. 3 chances for Iowa in that last possession. 16 for Illinois, 12 for Iowa. Blazing start for the Illini. They've been going
nice
outside. Ooh, but couldn't finish.
What a great pass from Frank Williams. Griffin just not able to send it in.
Dean Oliver went almost 25 minutes without a point last year at Assembly Hall, up to a much better start this time around. And the Hawkeyes working the shot clock on the possession. Evans trying to get position inside. He's got a battle with Marcus Griffin. Galloway comes up with it and scores. And the Hawkeyes are pinning to the basket.
If you're Illinois, that has to be very discouraging, Jim, because we talked about the depth and the size advantage that they enjoy along that front line, and Iowa right now just flat out beating them almost to every loose ball.
5 offensive rebounds for the Hawkeyes, and now a chance to tie or go ahead. Oliver with a pitch inside, ball stolen away, and it's a foot race, and Harrington's going to win it.
Nice job on the double down by Sean Harrington, who's usually in there for his three-point shooting about 47% from behind the arc. But here, once Sonderleiter puts the ball on the deck, he's there to strip it, take it end-to-end.
Harrington, one of the leaders of the Illinois bench, one of the best in the country, as Oliver fires up a 3, misses on that one, and this time no black jerseys for the rebound. Sergio McClain, his final game at the Assembly Hall here in Champaign. Harrington, super pass inside. How about Sean Harrington attacking the basket?
Nice job by Harrington off the bench, and we talked about the difficulty, Jim, that Iowa has had defending dribble penetration. So far, they haven't been able to shut that down. Frank Williams has done it a couple times. Here, Harrington breaks him down off the bounce.
And Iowa better be careful with its passes. Illinois, a very good defensive team, very quick. Now they double on Evans. Means somebody is loose if they can find him. And they couldn't.
Good active hands once again by Harrington, stepping into the passing lane.
Illinois starting to turn up the defensive pressure. The Illini lead by 6, 20-14. Now let's take a moment to thank our Big Ten corporate partners. Kemper Funds, long-term investing in a short-term world. And Cooper Tires, a lot of mileage for the money. Cooper Tires, drive on. After the timeout missed by Dean Oliver, Illinois on a bit of a mini run, looking down to Archibald's out of bounds, back to Iowa. A look at the stars of the Illini on the bench after the emotional pre-game activities, particularly emotional for the man on the left, Sergio McClain.
And Illinois able to go to their bench. Krupali in there at about 6'9", and Archibald in there as well. So they're throwing fresh bodies at that Iowa front line.
Well, you had a senior day at Northwestern. What was that like for you?
Well, it's not on film because they didn't have film at that time. There's an artist rendering somewhere.
Late 50s, early 60s, I think it was. Well, coming up on the Iowa Hawkeyes. So many young players on this team. There's one of them, Jared Reiner, on a trip South Dakota. He is first on this team with blocks. Galloway goes out for Iowa. Iowa's hit only 1 of its last 9. Rupalia, offensive rebound. Illinois hasn't had many of those, but now the lead has been bumped back up to 8.
The Iowa defender, Jim, on the out-of-bounds situation, turned his back. Bradford threw it in off him. It's a live ball, not able to convert. But once again, offensive rebounding there to save the day for Illinois.
Haven't seen that play work very much, but it is pretty effective when it is utilized.
Take a look at it right here. The freshman Reiner with his back. Headsy play by Bradford, not able to convert, but Krupalia stays with it, gets the finish.
Johnson strong to the basket, up and in, and Illinois starting to crank it up. This was a 2-point game moments ago. It is up to 10, and maybe a dangerous point for Iowa.
Nice 2-man game on the left side of the floor. Kupalya steps up, catches the ball at the elbow. Duez Henderson, the defender, turns his head. Nice bounce pass. Allows the momentum of Johnson to catch and go right to the rim. Draws the contact and finish. Have a chance for a three-point play.
Moments ago, Bradford had converted on the bounce off Reiner. Does Reiner get an assist?
Well, since he didn't convert it, no.
But if he hit it.
If it was hockey, don't you feel like the second guy that touches the puck prior to that?
Sure.
That's about all I know about hockey.
If you're just thinking about it, that's a credit in some areas. Illinois 25, Iowa 14. After the great start by the Hawkeyes, they have gone scoreless. And Boyd's not getting loose. Corey Bradford's on him.
Great job by
nobody able to get loose. Under 10 seconds to work with. Good defense by Illinois. Now 5. We're going to have to throw it up. Henderson fires. Just a great defensive series for Illinois.
Very active with movement of the feet. Iowa just not able to get anything going toward the rim.
9 straight points for the Illini since the score was 16-14. Here's Brian Cook, who got into foul trouble in Columbus on Thursday. There's a point in that game in the second half where Cook had 4 fouls and just 4 points. Back comes Frank Williams, and out goes Sean Harrington. Even though it's his senior day, there are a lot of Illinois players back for at least another year or 2.
And Harrington really gave them a nice lift off the bench on both ends of the floor, defensively with a couple of steals going end to end.
A great bench for Illinois, which struggled against Ohio State. Cook for 3. Illinois has doubled up on Iowa, 28-14. 12 in a row for the Illini.
And dribble penetration allowed Cook to fade out to the three-point arc and knock it down. But I think more importantly, he got established downside early, which allowed him to step out and shoot that ball with more confidence.
Trouble for Steve Alford and the Hawks, who find themselves down by 14 in the first half. These people get more fired up about today.
They've got to get some enthusiasm. Well, we talked about the importance of dribble penetration, and here you see a great example of it. Lucas Johnson able to turn the corner, which allowed Brian Cook to step out, knock down that 3. When you're thinking of dribble penetration, you usually would think of a point guard doing that, either a Williams or a Bradford, but Johnson able to put the ball on the floor, turn the corner on the defender, allowed the clean look.
Illinois with 3 made threes most recently, and that's contributed to this 14-point lead. And I would think this is a big moment for the Hawkeyes in order to find their way back into the game. We mentioned earlier Duke's big win over Wake Forest. And Florida knocking off Bama in the SEC. But here it is all Illinois right now. 16-14 moments ago, now 31-14.
And Bradford shot that one, stepping out with a great deal of confidence. Something during that 3-game drought that it looked like he was almost aiming the ball, Jim, rather than catching it with that nice stroke.
And the other thing Bill Self talked about yesterday, look, guys, we got to get this guy some looks. We're not screening. We're not spacing right. We got to find him some territory to shoot the ball. Evans tries to stop the bleeding and misses. Rebound Cook. And here comes Illinois again. In this building, they had a 20-0 run against Northwestern. They're very capable of blowing you out early. Williams. Frank Williams adds to the 33-14 margin. Illinois by 19. The last time Iowa scored was at the 12:40 mark.
And as crisp as Illinois has been on the offensive end of the floor, defensively is really where they've made a difference in this ball game. They had about 3 or 4 possessions, Jim, where they were kind of lax. And since that period of time, they have really shut Iowa down. Their offense has been almost exclusively on the perimeter, nothing going toward the basket.
Almost looks at times that Iowa is reluctant to go inside, and finally, Dean Oliver finds an answer. They met a month ago, and Iowa had a great run in the second half to win by 16. But as home court has dictated this year, not the story today. You've been around this league a long time. Have you ever seen a year where the home teams have dominated like this?
Well, it's usually been a tough place to win on the road, but this year has just been, I think, taking it to another level. And you have a lot of young players in the league. And you take a look at one of them right here in Worley, who just gets the corner turned on him by Lucas Johnson, has to give the foul. But when you're a young squad, then you have to go on the road, and I think there's a period of adjustment. It's one thing to observe the league, Jim. It's another thing to actually be in it and understand the intensity level and the type of crowd fever you're going to have to run into when you go on the road.
With Sean Morris, I'm Jim Barber. Welcome to Champaign, Illinois. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is Senior Day, and right now the seniors of Illinois are enjoying what they're participating in. Illinois doubling up on Iowa 34-17.
Tell you what, for 16,000 plus, this place gets quiet as a church when someone shoots a free throw.
Must be a memo that's been passed out to everybody. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. 4 for the first half here at the Assembly Hall. Illinois has played the best all season long and done pretty well.
Well, they really have, and you have to believe, Jim, that playing that kind of quality schedule prepares you for the rigors of the Big Ten. You know, you take a look at that Arizona game, Sean Harrington really shot the ball well. They were down 15 late. They almost came back all the way. No shame in losing to #1 Duke. Came back from 21 down to beat Seton Hall here in the Assembly Hall. Just quality wins all the way around. And as talented offensively as they are, as they've shown today, defense really has been the difference for them, not only in this game, but throughout the season.
It was their defense against Wisconsin that saved the day because they were down 13 to the Badgers in the second half, made some big stops, and won it on a Marcus Griffin hoop. Iowa comes up empty there, and Illinois back on the attack. Less than 48 hours ago, Illinois lost a tough one to Ohio State. Had a chance to tie or win at the end, but young people typically are resilient, and we're seeing that today. In fact, you didn't see very many people down yesterday at the practice the Illini held. They're ready to go. Contact inside, foul on Brian Cook. That's his second. That's also been a problem for Cook this year. Not only has he been disqualified from 4 games this season, but 11 other times he's had 4 fouls. And if Illinois is going to get deep in the tournament, that's got to change. So with his second foul, Brian Cook is out. Robert Archibald is in. This is a bench, speaking of Illinois, that outscored Indiana 30-6. Turnover by Oliver Bradford. Back the other way. Iowa could not do that this afternoon.
No, they have to value every possession. The poor pass on the ball reversal, the loose ball. Bradford beats everybody to it, able to go down and finish with the layup.
Galloway looks inside. Worley tries to get to it, but McClain playing good defense. Sets Illinois back up again on offense. And Bradford misses, and we got 4 bodies down. And let's hope everybody's okay. That's Bradford and Archibald. And another look.
On the ball reversal, little shot fake by Bradford. He's able to turn the corner on Galloway. Then just a loose ball. Okay, he hits the deck pretty hard. Then inadvertently, right there, coming in on top of him, Sonderleiter falls on him. All accidental. This guy's going after the ball, but that's not the best place to be when you're laying down on the ground and a guy 6'11" and another guy 6'10" are getting ready to fall on you.
Sonderleiter's 225 pounds. Imagine when he gets beefed up. Orange crush section. Happy to see that everybody appears to be okay. Rod Cardinal, longtime trainer for the Illini out there, and now he welcomes back Corey Bradford, who will take a blow for a moment. Iowa just 2 of its last 15, but that's got a lot to do with Illinois' great defense.
They've really shut them down, and not only on the ball defense, but also away from the ball, really denying passing angles, and Iowa has not been able to get anything going to the rim. Everything has been out on the perimeter, and Illinois' defense has been so solid, Jim, that they've pushed them out 2 or 3 feet behind the arc.
Buckeyes started this game with 12 points in the first 4 minutes. McClain now has 2. Don't think foul problems will matter today, but this has been at times an Achilles heel for Illinois. not finding anywhere to penetrate. And some weak side help. Archibald coming over and saying, not here, Kyle Galloway.
Well, like a Roadrunner cartoon, you could see how that play was going to end. Here it comes down in here. Archibald 21, times it, sends it back.
13 on the shot clock, 5:07 for the first half, dominated right now by the University of Illinois. A win in Illinois keeps the first spot in the Big Ten Conference. Right now, Michigan State is on the lead lap with the Illini in terms of losses, 3 apiece. That one swatted away. Great defensive pressure by Illinois. 3 blocks and the break. They got their A game today.
Well, that's 3 blocks by Marcus Griffin. Then he runs the floor, showing his athleticism, and gets rewarded on the offensive end as well.
39-17 Illinois. Oliver not finding anybody loose. Now he gives to Sonderleiter, and Sonderleiter is fouled, and he'll shoot a couple. Another look at what is becoming a pattern for Illinois in this game.
And it started on the defensive end with the block by Griffin. Breakout. Nice seal-off right there by Archibald in the bottom part of your screen, not allowing Sonderleiter to get over and contest the shot. But I've been impressed with what this freshman has done in his time here this afternoon. Has gone to the rim very aggressively, kept a couple of balls alive on the offensive end of the floor.
Nothing wrong with these young guys getting some playing time in a very hostile atmosphere. You figure in a year or two they're going to be pretty good, or at least pretty adjusted to it. Sonderleiter's a 64% shooter from the line, but he missed both of those. And somehow Reggie Evans got the rebound and knocked it off Illinois.
Number 5, Jared Reiner, will replace Sean Sonderleiter.
So Iowa keeps control of basketball. Bill Self said, wait a minute, that's not the right call.
Now they're cleaning up a little stuff with Evans and Archibald. Couple of little love taps there.
Reggie Evans is something inside. He got to the free throw line against Purdue 22 times. Good dish inside to Reiner, who lays it in, and finally an Iowa basket after a long period of time.
And one of the few chances they've had to score going to the rim, Jim. Nice recognition of the double team by Evans.
Iowa had gone 7 minutes without a basket. And that is the reason they find themselves down by 20. This run started at about the 12-minute mark. Illinois has outscored Iowa 21-4 in that run.
Alan Reiner is second, 7 on the Hawkeyes. Radford back in, replacing.
Shot goes up. Loose ball situation. Body's flying around. Once again, once that ball goes up, you have to find somebody to put a body on him.
Reggie Evans gets his body on that rebound. He's collecting some numbers today, but his team is down by 20. This had such a promising start for Iowa, but Illinois has just solidified its defense as this game has gone along. There haven't been many openings. They look for Reiner inside, blocked away. Block number 4, and look at the hustle by Lucas Johnson.
And it looks like Marcus Griffin might have rolled his right ankle a little bit, Jim. He's kind of gimping a little bit.
Griffin hustles off, or limps off. Lucas Johnson with the hustle. And it's all Illinois at 3:52. Today's game is brought to you by Reebok. Experience the fit of the Reebok pump only at Foot Locker. Are you pumped? This crowd of almost 17,000 has been pumped from the moment that the seniors came onto the floor, and after an electrifying start on the part of both teams, Illinois turning up a notch on defense, it's gotten even crazier. As Luke Recker looks on in disappointment, Iowa's look at first half and second half scoring better in the second half, but the way things are going today, the second half may not matter.
And I was trying to show Illinois a little bit different look, a little bit three-quarter trap.
Good skip to Sean Harrington. That one went in and out. Lucas Johnson fights for the rebound. A foul coming up on the Hawks. And back to the free throw line for Illinois.
Number 2 on Worley, 8 on Iowa. At the line, Lucas Johnson.
Lucas Johnson, who, as Illinois was closing out Michigan State a couple of weeks ago, was doing jumping jacks on the sidelines. That only contributed to the mayhem here for that game. Steve Alford's team struggling in this first half. He knew it would be difficult. It has been difficult. Archibald over the back. And because of that foul, we walk back to the other end for free throws for Iowa.
And a little bit of frustration shown right there by the freshman, Glenn Worley. Got hit in the face inadvertently, coming over the top by Archibald, and he threw a little bit of a quick jab there. Good job by the Iowa teammates of getting over there and trying to calm him down.
Iowa went with 3 starters at the University of Michigan, so this has not been an unusual starting lineup we saw moments ago. And Worley getting the start today. Played his high school basketball at West High School in Iowa City. Folks who follow the Hawks know that. I agree with you. He's a good-looking freshman.
Well, he's shown the ability to do a variety of things on the offensive end of the floor. He can shoot the ball, put the ball on the floor a little bit, and get to the rim and finish. He's only going to get better with experience and learning how to play and compete at this level where you're playing against people that match up with you athletically night in and night out, something that a player of his caliber didn't see consistently on the high school level.
Many times a practice for a college team is much tougher than any high school game they've been through. Rapalia had looked back door. Now here's Corey Bradford against Dean Oliver. And a foul coming up on Oliver. And for Oliver, that's number 2 on him.
Foul is on number 20, Dean Oliver.
Once again, dribble penetration pays dividends for Illinois. A tough call right there if you're Iowa, because it's a tough one for Dean Oliver to get his second foul. He really makes this squad go, because he takes care of the basketball so extremely well, Jim. Comes in leading the conference, almost a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Does an outstanding job of running a very young squad, making the proper decisions, getting guys the ball in a place, in a position where they can do something positive with it.
They say 2-to-1 is not bad turnovers and assists, or assists to turnovers. 3-to-1 is excellent. Indiana, how impressive was that today? Beating Wisconsin's tough enough, but winning by 30.
And to score 85 points or whatever it was they did against Wisconsin, a squad that gives up points very, very reluctantly. I don't care if it's at home or wherever you're playing. That is quite a feat in and of itself.
Kirk Hastings got Indiana started well today, and then Tom Coverdale, who did not miss a 3 in 6 attempts, helped finish him off. The rest of the country, Oklahoma going out of conference today against Gary Williams and Maryland winning 68-60. The ACC has a wonderful league this year as well. Under 3 minutes for the first half. Illinois trying to put a little distance between themselves and Michigan State. The Spartans play tonight at Penn State. Galloway had the ball. Galloway lost it. Foul coming up on Illinois.
Rapalia goes to the deck on the loose ball situation with Galloway. Nice job by Evans of contesting the original offering from Griffin. Then this is a loose ball situation. If you're Illinois, that's a tough call for Rapalia to pick up. You certainly can't fault the effort.
No. Haven't seen any of that lacking today. And you don't expect that to be lacking with Iowa and Illinois play. These current players don't have any history against each other, at least any bad blood. But still, when Bill Self got the job, first question was asked by a number of fans is, you got to beat Iowa. You're going to do that, are you? Here's Rapalia. That one blocked away by Worley and retrieved by Evans, but we got a foul on Reggie Evans. And he disagrees with Ed Hightower.
Right here, the dribble penetration by Johnson. Good job defensively, good help by Worley.
First foul on Evans.
Did he get him with his left hand?
There was a little bit of contact, but nice job of accentuating it as well by Krupalia.
Little theater work there, perhaps. Another body to the floor, another foul called. We're seeing a lot of that over the last few minutes. And Ed Hightower is moving Reggie Evans toward the Iowa bench.
Well, we saw a little bit of frustration 3 or 4 possessions ago on the part of the freshman Worley. Now you take a look at it, starting to set in a little bit by Evans as well. Extends that left arm. Draws the foul.
2 very quick fouls, 2 very physical fouls on Reggie Evans. Evans has 8 rebounds today for Iowa, with just 2 points. Had a big offensive night the other night against Purdue.
Well, the last time these 2 teams met, Evans had 15 rebounds, but only 4 points. All those coming from the foul line. Only no field goals, 0 of 4 from the floor the last time these 2 teams met back in Iowa City.
I would assume a pretty good move to settle Evans down for the moment. He's becoming a marked man out there, and that's not good for Iowa. Hawkeyes have enough problems of their own, trailing by 23. Dean Oliver got the Hawks up to a good start. A little help from Marcus Griffin as Oliver able to get around Frank Williams, and a foul called.
Marcus Griffin has really made his presence known on the defensive end of the floor. He picks up his 2nd foul in this situation, but came very, very close to getting his 5th block here in the first half.
Good sign for Marcus. 10 points in this game. They're led in scoring by Corey Bradford. But Bill Self wants to see Marcus Griffin scoring up. They're going to need him in a stretch run of this season, the Big Ten tournament, and most importantly of all, the NCAA tournament. With Marcus Griffin and Sergio McClain having won a high school title here, at least one of the years when the state finals was held here, and of course they won 4, 3 in Peoria. Must feel like McClain and Marcus have been here for about 20 seasons.
Well, to win 4 consecutive championships at any level is impressive.
And they have a chance to end this season with a Big Ten Conference championship and perhaps something even more special. I'll go back to something you pointed out earlier. They play the best all season long. So I would have to think that they've got to be considered a contender for the national title. Boyd, nice shot fake and fires it 2, but he missed it. A rebound to Amir Krupalia. And that one picked off by Kyle Galloway. We're deep into the first half. Illinois up 45-22. Oliver deserves something better on that one.
That thing did everything but go down in the cup.
Oliver has 8 points, but on just 2 of 9 shooting. We saw Frank Williams handling the ball moments ago. He has 2 points in this game. Of course, this is the first half, not the second. And another foul coming up on Iowa.
And Krupalia giving, as we saw Harrington do earlier in the first half, Jim, Krupalia giving Illinois a nice lift off the bench on the glass. You take a look at the dribble penetration by Bradford. Nice job of using his body by the upperclassman Krupalia. Draws the contact, go to the line, shoot a couple.
Great concentration by Krupalia, and the crowd helps every attempted free throw in Illinois. Sean pointed out moments ago. Bill Self's team arrived back late Thursday night from Columbus, down but not out.
Well, they just played a team in Ohio State that has played very, very well as of late and played an outstanding game at home against a very talented Illinois squad, but they held serve there. Ken Johnson and Brian Brown got off to an outstanding start, only missing 1 shot between them cumulatively in the first half. And Ken Johnson really improving his offensive game. You know what you're going to get on the defensive end, but to have that option down on the block, really a nice opportunity for Coach Jim O'Brien heading down the stretch.
Also looked like Ohio State had 5 defenders at Frank Williams at the end of the game as well. 49 points in the first half. And halftime's going to be a relief for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Sonderweiter against 2 players, missed it. Out of bounds, Illinois. And Illinois will use a 30-second timeout as opposed to losing it to the second half. Big day for the Illini. And they'll have the ball with 19.4 seconds to go in this half. The Orange Crush arrived early here today. It's always a fun group to hang around, very enthusiastic. And today they've had more than their special moments.
Here's one of many highlights for Illinois in the first half. Courtney Scott says, okay, prove it to me, Lucas Johnson, and he certainly does. Uses the freshman's head as a gun sight and knocks down the 3.
Well, how deep is this bench against Indiana? Lucas Johnson was the last one you had expected to come in and contribute as well as he did, but he had a couple of threes, banked in a 2. And while you're concentrating on everybody else on Illinois, this guy comes around and kills you at the end.
Well, they usually make so many hustle plays, as does that young man, Krupalia, but they've gotten different lifts from different parts of their game. Harrington in the backcourt, Krupalia in the front court. But the story of this game, obviously breaking out a little bit offensively by Bradford, but something we haven't mentioned, the outstanding job defensively he's done on Boyd, not allowing him to catch the ball in any kind of shooting position.
We'll join Mike Gleason at the half for scores and highlights. A 33-8 run for Illinois. Bradford tries to save. I saw that one in Horst before, but it did not go in. About the only one that hasn't gone in a while. What a great first half for the seniors at the University of Illinois. At halftime, the Illini 49, the Hawkeyes 22.
Solid mark at Illinois. Gill was a 2-time Big Ten, 2-time All-America pick. He once went 13 for 13 from the stripe in an Illinois victory and shot over 50% from the floor in his last 2 years. Kendall Gill was the Illinois MVP in 1990. Now this word from University of Illinois.
I first met Professor O'Keefe my first day on campus as a freshman.
She enrolled in
49-22 over Iowa. Welcome back to the Assembly Hall. Jim Barber along with Sean Morris. This is senior day for the Illini, and no one here is disappointed so far.
Well, Illinois really getting it done on the defensive end of the floor. That's really how they were able to extend this lead. And we'll take a look at some of the first half highlights, Jim. Once again, we talked about the defense. Corey Bradford, the beneficiary there on the loose ball situation. 2 of his 11. Then Marcus Griffin, there's 1 of his 4 blocks in the first half, really making his presence known. Then he completes the play, runs the floor, and finishes on the other end. We talked about the importance of dribble penetration. There's a prime example of it right there. Lucas Johnson able to turn the corner, hit the spotting up Brian Cook. Then Frank Williams throwing everything at the poor freshman. Courtney Scott steps behind a little bit of a rub, knocks down the 3. Everything going right in the first half for Illinois is witnessed by those stats, Jim.
All right, Sean, let's take a look at those Miller Genuine Draft first half stats. The shooting has been terrific for Illinois. Iowa just 22%, and the rebounding so much different than the last time these two teams play, where it was a +20 for the Hawkeyes.
Well, Iowa had everything going their way when they held the home serve. Here, Illinois doing the job defensively. As you take a look at the leading scores, and for Illinois, you really have to be happy with the fact that Corey Bradford stepped up and knocked down 11 in the first half, but he also did an outstanding job defensively, cooling off Brody Boyd, not allowing him to get any clean looks, holding him to only 2 points in the first half.
Chances of Iowa winning this game are remote or none, so what do the Hawkeyes do to at least try to establish something in the second half?
Well, they still have a great deal to play for, seeding in the conference tournament first and foremost, and then going forward postseason consideration. And with a young squad, there's no such thing as a wasted possession or a wasted half. You still have to run your offense, develop and maintain good habits.
And not a good start for the Hawkeyes on that opening possession. The first 17 seconds, they turn it over. A look at one of the 4 seniors being saluted today, Sergio McLean. And if you're just joining us, tears in his eyes from the moment that he came out to Assembly Hall before the half started. McLean finding an open three, but before that happens, Ed Hightower spots a foul. It's on Illinois.
Sergio McLean on the dribble penetration, left his feet. Heady play by the senior. Dean Oliver slid over, took the punch. You see it coming right here. Able to turn the corner. Oliver slides over, takes the contact. Will go the other way.
And let's see now if Iowa can finally get something established on offense. It's been difficult most of the afternoon because of Illinois' fine defensive pressure. Another example.
Well, the senior, Marcus Griffin, just flat out took that away from the freshman Sonderleiter.
And the other way down, Bill Self not happy with the fact they could not convert. What looked like to be an easy chance to score. Lucas Johnson will come in as a result.
Lucas Johnson replacing Sergio McLean.
Lucas ended the first half with that three-pointer, part of a 33-8 run for Illinois.
11 points in the first half for Johnson, 6 of 7 from the foul line, and a couple of great hustle plays, which allowed Illinois to regain possession on a loose ball situation.
In the first half, Sean, 18 points for the Illinois bench. Here's Boyd trying to get loose to start the second half, and does, and he did it well.
Nice job by Boyd. Really the first clean look other than that three knocked down in the far corner. Nice job. You think of him as a standstill jump shooter, but Illinois does not cut off the dribble penetration. He gets to the rim, converts.
Boyd, who played his high school basketball in the state of Indiana. And a good start for him here in the second half as you look at some of the bigger Iowa Hawkeyes. Lucas Johnson's been without any hair for a while. His team continues to win, so it's had no effect. Now he penetrates and bounces to Griffin. That dribble penetration, you were talking about it all afternoon, and Illinois has not stopped doing it.
And Lucas Johnson, once again, a nice solid basketball play, Jim. He turns the corner with a left-handed dribble, forces Iowa to react. The nice lead for Griffin. He's able to convert, draw the contact. Nice play right there.
Lucas banged his hand during practice yesterday. A bit of a concern for a few minutes, but after the trainer checked him out, he was fine and back into activity.
If you've got Rob Cardinal as your trainer, and you are the father of Brian Cardinal, little nicks and scrapes and bumps and bruises, that's minor.
You've been exposed to every injury on the planet, I would think. There's a good look at Rod, who informed us yesterday that Brian is back, active duty with the Detroit Pistons. Good for him. Oliver, a deep three, knocks it down, and Dean Oliver has not stopped playing this afternoon. He is into double figures, the first Hawkeye to do that. Senior night for Iowa will be Thursday against Penn State, and Dean Oliver will be saying goodbye to the fans at Carver Hawkeye. What a terrific college career he has had as a member of Iowa.
We'll take a look at it right here. That would have been a tough catch for Cook, and I think Illinois right now has to be concerned about the fact just they haven't been very crisp in their offensive execution as the referees bring everyone together. There's been a little extracurricular stuff away from the ball, trying to clean that up and nip it in the bud, as Barney Fife would say, before it gets too far along.
I don't think Barney would want to get in the middle of that.
No.
The two coaches look on and get ready for the remaining 18 minutes of this game. Frank Williams hanging on Dean Oliver. More contact inside spotted. Another foul called.
I think they might have gotten Griffin right there, fighting for post position down on the block with Evans.
That's 3 on Marcus. 3 Illinois players have 3 fouls. This has been a pretty good offensive game for Marcus Griffin. He has struggled in parts of the second half of this season. Not a good sign when you want to run deep into the tournament.
But he's really been the beneficiary of a lot of great passing. Got the first basket of the game from fellow senior teammate Sergio McLean on a nice leave. A lot of his baskets have come as a result of dribble penetration by his teammates.
Boy, I like the defense they're playing on Dean Oliver. That was a tough shot.
They're really contesting everything and doing something also once the ball goes into the block that I thought Purdue was very effective with. Their double teaming Evans, making him give the ball up. And so far, Iowa's just not been able to get anything going to the rim. Every shot has been contested with the exception of the dribble penetration by Boyd a couple of possessions ago.
I was talking to the Iowa folks yesterday, and they said, consider this. Illinois has lost Ohio State, and now we're next. we beat Illinois by 16 earlier in the season. There's a relationship that goes back many years. It's not overly healthy between the two schools. Other than that, I don't know what Illinois has got to play for today.
Nice job. Watch the footwork right there. Nice little up and under move by Archibald. Not able to convert, but a good job of post play right there for the young man from Missouri via Scotland.
Exactly. Archibald played a terrific game against Michigan State off the bench. Really took command when Marcus was out at a spot where the Spartans had a chance to take control, and Archibald found his way inside on many occasions. Arch with his first 2 points of the afternoon. 9 Illinois players have now scored. A long time ago, it was 16-14 Illinois. Since then, 38 points for Illinois, just 13 for Iowa.
And Illinois really clamped down defensively when they went on that run to extend the lead into double digits and further, not only on the ball, but really making Iowa operate their offense much further away from the rim than they would be accustomed to, pushed them out behind the three-point arc, and just took away any kind of passing angle that they might have as well. Nothing easy so far this afternoon for Iowa.
Probably what Steve Alford imagined was going to happen with Illinois just cranking things up today. Very difficult to score, and a 15-0 run for Illinois may have salted this game away in the first half. Corey Bradford's numbers this afternoon pretty strong. 13 points on 5 of 10 shooting. They're getting him a lot more looks.
And he's shooting the ball with a much greater sense of confidence, it just looks like to me. Shooting it, nice, easy stroke, the follow-through. When he went through that 3-game drought and watching the tapes, looked like he was pulling the string a little bit, almost like he was trying to guide the ball in rather than just catching it and shooting it.
Might surprise some people when they think, well, why would Corey Bradford lose confidence? But it happens. Now a steal by Frank Williams. Boy, he is a terrific player. And he's given signs his junior year will be completed here in Illinois. He'll be back for more U of I basketball. And Bill Self was telling me yesterday, hey, we're pretty good now. Imagine what we might be like next year.
Well, absolutely. And the thing obviously his athleticism, Frankie Williams, something to really marvel at. But I tell you what, the thing I've been most impressed with this year, Jim, is the fact that he's played much more under control. He's really started to feel comfortable in the point guard shoes, distributing the basketball, and not feeling like he has to do everything himself. You take a look, one of the rare times that Iowa's been able to break down Illinois off the dribble. And Evans, boy, really active on the glass, able there to come there and clean up. But it was a dribble penetration by Worley which made that opportunity possible.
And Arch now has a seat. He's got 4 fouls, the only Illini player in deep foul problems at this point.
Boy, look at Bradford. He is not letting Brody Boyd do anything with the basketball.
Fighting right through Jared Reiner. This is Duaz Henderson. Played a role in the win in overtime over Purdue. Lucas Johnson and the Illini are up by 31. 15:52 left in our game at the Assembly Hall.
And Vincent Yarbrough, 22 points, 10 rebounds. He was 7 for 7 from the field. Volunteer fans sipping champagne. Speaking of champagne, let's go back to Jim and Sean.
Same colors, Mike. Orange. Tennessee playing in Nashville today to stop their losing streak. Tennessee had such a great start to this season. And then you get into the SEC conference, and it changes a little bit.
Absolutely. You know, SEC, one of the power leagues, along with the Big Ten, ACC.
I'm guessing there was a lot of orange in Nashville today, the way the Volunteer fans follow their team. Iowa stays at 27 points with 15.5 to go. Bradford on the baseline. He is having a terrific afternoon. Let's see, Sean, in the first half, a 15-0 run. Now 8 straight for Illinois.
Once again, look where Iowa's having to run their offense. Just nothing going toward the rim at all.
Not the best of shots for Reggie Evans. 60-27 here as you take a look at the rest of the country, and Purdue getting its first win as the month of February winds down without Smith and Allison. A difficult month, but today some enjoyment for Purdue, not for that man who expected it would be a rough day today here in Assembly Hall. Maybe not this rough. Lucas Johnson still has another year here.
Hair might grow back by then, unless he shaves it again.
Did some of that work in Hawaii, I understand. And Illinois was playing earlier in the season. McClain with a steal. Ahead to Krupalia. A little bit too far ahead as Krupalia could not catch and score. But when you're ahead by 33.
Nice defensive effort leads to this opportunity. Great job by McClain, taking away the crossover dribble opportunity by Duez Henderson. And Krupalia and Cook running right next to each other. Krupalia started thinking about the dunk. Forgot a very important thing, the ball.
No highlight there, so we continue with the score remaining at 60-27. This day began with the salute to the 4 seniors on the Illinois basketball team, and it has just carried on from that moment.
Nice job by Krupalia denying the interior feed. Stepped up topside, used the inside hand, came away with the deflection.
Mike Williams tries to finish it off, and there's Krupalia over the back. And in fact, set Reggie Evans down. That hasn't happened very often today.
Jim, we've talked about the seniors for Illinois and what they've meant to this program and their great tradition coming out of high school. There's another link that unifies them. The assistant that recruited them, Rob Judson from Illinois, recruited them all out of Peoria Manual, a holdover from Lon Kruger's staff, and he's probably going to get a head job somewhere down the road. He's really done an outstanding job here of not only bringing in quality players, but helping in their development as well.
Here's one of his recruits right here. Another Illinois highlight. Is everybody here having fun?
I think everyone's having fun except the travel party from Iowa right now.
Would rather be somewhere else. Speaking of Rob Judson, he actually hit a game-winning shot many years ago for Illinois against Iowa. He just didn't want us to identify the year. What a pass! Oh my heavens!
Well, when it rains, it pours, and right now, Iowa, Coach Steve Alford and his players have to feel like Noah with the arc builders on strike because it's coming down in buckets, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. Here, in transition, Frank Williams, the fellow to a senior right there, Sergio McClain, the finish draws the contact.
Think Sports Center could use that one?
Oh.
64-27, Illinois by 37. Against an Iowa team, again minus Recker and Hogan, but still likely to get to the NCAA tournament. Boyd will try a 3 and knocks down a 3. Good-looking freshman out of Duggar.
Absolutely, and that shows why you have to have a hand in his face. Harrington just backed up just enough to allow the freshman the clean look, something that Corey Bradford did not allow him to do much, if at all.
Zone activity by the Hawks, an extra step by Sergio McClain. Illinois has not made many mistakes this afternoon. Can you imagine what the curtain call is going to be like for Marcus Griffin and Sergio McClain when they take their last steps off this floor today?
Well, the accolades that they receive from this home crowd are all well-deserved, Jim, because they've come in and, you know, going through a coaching change, even when you have successes they've had here in their career, you know, you're still talking about 19, 20, 21-year-old young men. And when you have a coach that comes in and recruits you, and then that person leaves as the head coach, that's an adjustment. And you really have to credit not only the young people that came and stayed for the right reasons, but also Coach Bill Self and his staff. Well, a little extracurricular stuff down there.
We'll see what yard line they're set up on.
Loose ball situation right here. Oh, he turns the corner. Doesn't go down. Krupalya. Nice job hustling right there by Scott. A fellow freshman, I think that's Sondelar, yes, who gets down there. Not quite able to get the full crossface applied.
And their two coaches wouldn't have it any other way. Illinois up by 34, still expected to hustle and play hard. Same thing for Iowa, down by the huge deficit. And the rout continues in high form. The bench enjoys what they're seeing, so does the Orange Crush. And the lead is back to 37, and the foul called on Corey Bradford. We're going to see all seniors today, I believe. Mr. Cross and Mr. Mast will get a chance to play today. Joe Cross and Nate Mast. Nate, who played his high school basketball in Champaign.
Take a look at the last basket. Krupalya, we've seen his handiwork on the glass. Here he shows his ability at 6'9" to step out and knock down the standstill jump shot.
The News Gazette here in Champaign had some great articles on the seniors. They actually asked Joe Cross, if you were a reporter for our newspaper, what would you ask Bill Self? And his question was, are you guys going to win it all? Nothing like getting right to the point, huh?
Cut to the chase.
Yep. There's Demir Krupalya continuing his hustle. This is a guy who wasn't even certain he was going to play the rest of the season. .54 for the game. It can't end quick enough for Iowa. 67-31, the leaders in the Big Ten. 31, let's take a couple looks at the BMW ultimate drive of the game, Sean.
Well, Sergio McLean in a breakout situation, very appropriate that he's able to get a breakout here on Senior Day in Champaign. Chasing it down, measuring his steps, rising the ladder. A lot of symmetry there. A lot of orange around, orange ball, orange rim, orange crush.
They say his look is kind of menacing, you know, when he doesn't smile. But guys off the court say this is one of the most sensitive guys and a very well-liked guy, and he'll end his college career here today at the Assembly Hall, at least for the home part of it. Illinois on the road against Minnesota next week. Krupalya with a step, no basket. But a foul coming up. Illinois has a week to get ready for the Gophers. In fact, 8 days. And will that game matter in terms of the Big Ten? Perhaps, depending on what happens to Michigan State the next couple of nights.
Going on the road, as we've seen, I don't care who you are, it's very easy to get bit in Williams Arena, one of the more hostile environments, not only in the conference, but in the country.
Getting close to a double-double for Demir Krupalya, who had one against Northwestern in 20 minutes of play. 15 points and 12 boards. Reggie Evans not receiving a hero's welcome as he comes back in. It's fun to watch him play, though. Plays very hard.
Goes after every rebound, but he has really struggled, as have all his Iowa teammates. Only 2 points for Evans.
And just 10 made field goals today for the Hawkeyes in 43 attempts. The applause in the background is for Nate Mast, one of the other seniors who will re-enter the game for the first time in a moment. Here's Boyd penetrating.
Oh, nice use of the left hand.
Boy. And Boyd's in double figures with 11.
Nice use of the left hand by the freshman.
Just everybody, almost everybody with a touch on this possession. McLean calls for it. Griffin fires a 3. Is that in the playbook?
I don't think so. that might be his first 3-point attempt of the year.
Foul call on Illinois. And here's Nate Mast, who played in Champaign during his high school days. His first look today on his final regular season home game here. You think of this Illinois team losing 4 people after this season, but everything works out. Frank Williams comes back for 2 more years. Corey Bradford's back for another season. Brian Cook's got 2 years left. Almost the entire bench has got another season to go. I imagine we'll see the man with the jersey and the warm-up jackets, Mr. Cross, before long. Here's a good look at Joe.
We've talked about the recruiting prowess of Illinois and bringing the Peoria-Manual connection here to Champaign, but help also on the way for Steve Alford in the form of a lot of players, but Pierre Pierce in particular had 41 last night. Wow. 6'4" shooting guard, do it all. He had 41 points and I believe 13 rebounds last night. So help on the way and a lot of young players gaining valuable experience for Iowa.
Hawkeyes last year under 500. This year well above 500. Had the great start to the season with 9 consecutive wins.
Nice high-low.
Capaglia to high and Griffin down low. Marcus Griffin has 15. He's above his average by a few points. Oliver trying to beat his man off the dribble and did it well. Well, imagine what it'll be like Thursday night Carver Hawkeye when Dean Oliver says goodbye.
Well, the native son there from Mason City led his team to the state championship there in 4 outstanding years running the controls for that Iowa program.
McLean had a 3 in the first half but misses that one. 10 minutes to go in the game. And a good catch by Duez Henderson among everybody that was trying to finish.